Hello there, chat. What's going on? It's me, Joraptor here. Broken into the house. I have murdered everyone inside, apart from the dog. I'm not that evil. The dog is my friend. I'm going to take it back with me to the Netherlands. How's everybody doing? It doesn't even fucking sound like him, does it? What's up, folks? I thought I would come on and say hi. Because I don't know where Elva is, I'm going to be honest with you. I think she's fallen and died. Hey, Nick. What's going on? Hey, man. What's up, man? How many of you gamers have seen the new Ant-Man film? I don't know why I'm asking you that. None of ya? Wow. Crazy. Just awoke into a lovely stream. Hope your evening is going well. Me too. Same. Were you talking this entire time? No, just the last 30 seconds. I was just asking Flash. I want to know if anybody has been to see the new Ant-Man film. I think it's a work of art. Hello. Yeah, no, I'm not sure what Elva's doing, but I thought, why not? Just, you know, keep people ready. No, I can't say I have. Really? Oh, man. I think you'd love it. I haven't seen it. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. This is like, I'm trying to do a bit, but I don't know what the bit is. I'm just like, I don't know what that was. Yeah, really bad bit. I'm sorry. That was, there've been better bits. Maybe it would have been funny if I'd have kept it going for like a week, but I couldn't even keep it going for a minute there. How's it going, Ryan? How's it going, Michael? I just learned an old friend from freshman year of high school just passed away at age 26. Holy shit, I'm sorry, man. That's weird. That's rough. Jesus. Way to bring the stream down, motherfucker. I'm joking. I'm sorry. That was it. You don't have the strength to commit to a bit for that long. No, I don't. I don't have the fortitude.
Hi.
Hi. Have you seen that Man on the Wasp, Elva?
What?
Have you seen that Man on the Wasp?
Yeah, it's really good.
Wow, same. I think so too.
Well, are we ever gonna watch Marvel stuff again? We've missed so much of it.
Fuck that.
I'm not really bothered, you know. I don't really mind if we do or don't.
Have you seen all the ratings for Ant-Man and the new Ant-Man movie? It's bad. It's
no.
bad.
No, I haven't.
It's bad.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently. Which I could have told you that for free. So don't know why you're all paying to get reviews of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I could have told you that without. You wouldn't have to pay me. I could tell you it's bad, and I haven't seen it.
What are you talking about?
My favourite new film. Oh man, can we not do this? We're gonna do this right now. So guys, what do you think about Phase 4? Are we in Phase 5 yet?
No.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Ow! Me too.
I can't wait for Loki Season 2. Was he in the post-credit scene of Ant-Man? Or did I dream that I saw that on a thumbnail?
What?
I still get Marvel like speculation videos recommended to me on YouTube despite not having engaged with it for ages. But I'm pretty sure I saw Loki in the post-credit scene of Ant-Man.
Huh? Really?
Yeah. Loki from the critically acclaimed show Loki.
That show was not good.
No, it wasn't. But people fucking loved it
People
for some
said they
reason.
liked it, and I was just like, it was okay.
People have such low
Like it wasn't.
standards,
I
man.
wouldn't say it was like bad, but it was just like not very good. I thought that immediately. The whole time I was like, this is just fine. Like.
So it's literally the best that any of the Disney Plus Marvel shows have been is just fine.
Yeah, I quite liked Hawkeye one. I think that was pretty decent.
It was alright.
What other
it was
ones
alright,
were there?
It was alright. I mean, as far as Marvel goes, it's like pretty good. But like in terms of like television in general, it was just like.
Oh, the
Run-of-the-mill,
the
middle of the
Marvel
road.
ones that they did before all of it, the new ones like Jessica Jones and Daredevil and stuff.
Let's be
were
honest with
all so
ourselves.
much
The
better.
only good one was Daredevil and Punisher.
I liked season 1 of Jessica
And Jessica
Jones.
Jones season 1 was good, but that's because
Yeah,
David Tennant carried it.
True.
Because as soon as he was gone,
True.
season 2 and 3 were fucking shit. Luke
I
Cage
really-
was shit.
I
Iron
re-
Fist was shit, but I love it.
Luke Cage was Cage
Daredevil-
wasn't great. It didn't stand out much, but it wasn't bad.
I don't know.
Iron Fist was not great, but kind of good at times.
But Daredevil season 3 is some of the greatest television to ever exist.
All of Daredevil was.
Yeah, no, it's all
really
good. But season 3 in particular is like.
Is that the newest
10
one?
out of 10.
Was that the most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
That one episode where it was just Karen
was actually really good. Yes,
was so good.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
We love Karen, but we also hate her when she's in God of War.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
What does she want, James?
I don't know.
What does Karen want?
We may never want. No.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was so good, and then it was trash.
It was good for like 4 seasons, 3
seasons. It was
seasons.
like the most recent one. I think we just like 4. Stopped watching, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were just like, this isn't so weird.
We stopped originally because they decanonized it. It wasn't canon to the MCU anymore. Because it was when Infinity War Endgame was happening, and they just like skipped over the snap like it didn't happen. We were like, oh, okay. I guess we'll stop watching it then.
Oh, yeah. No, but I remember the newest season, we were kind of just like, what is even going on here? Why are we watching this?
Yeah, because they were also, in season 4, they were setting up Thanos as well. Because they have that when Daisy's, like, talking to the, like, Kree guy. He's talking about how Thanos is going to come along and do bits and bobs. And she's like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't watch the MCU. And then it just never happened. Well, I mean, it happened in the MCU, but it didn't happen, like... In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, they just decided that, oh no, the snap didn't happen in this universe, different timeline.
Yeah. Yes, Andrew, I love that bit. It was so good when you pull the picture. It came out so perfect.
I did that. That took me about, like, 6 takes.
Oh, really? I thought, because you could, I guess...
post the bloopers on Patreon or something.
Yeah, because I think if you look into your eyes, you could probably see the joy you felt, like, slightly coming through.
Because it wasn't even the rip bit that I fucked up 6 times. It was the dialogue after that I just
really?
I kept just tripping over my words.
Yeah, your newest video is really good.
I also did a bunch of takes for that final bit where I'm like, did they change fate? That segment. I did a bunch of takes for that. And there was a bunch of different ones where, like, I'm in different, like, amounts of distress. And I just went
different amounts of distress.
For kind of like a medium, the medium take.
I like that for you.
But yeah.
I really like, just all of it, but I do like the sort of when you went crazy vibes. They were really funny. The whole video was really good. And I think everyone agrees it's probably the best one you've made so far.
Yeah. A medium amount of distress is the healthiest. True, very true.
I would say, like, it's good to have a mild amount of distress at all times.
At all times, so then you know when something's coming for you.
Right, okay. Episode Shinra is fucking long.
Daredevil Season 3 is a crossover? No, Daredevil Season 2 is a crossover. Well, no. Daredevil Season 2... No, Daredevil Season... No, okay. So there's 3 seasons of Daredevil, but in between season 2 and season 3 is the Defenders. Just don't worry about it.
The Defenders wasn't anything.
It doesn't matter.
I don't even remember what happens in it.
Because the Defenders just works as a way to, like, bottleneck you through the Daredevil seasons and then be like, oh, you need to go watch Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Iron Fist. You don't, just fuck it. Just watch Daredevil season 1, 2, and 3. And, like, make sure you watch Punisher season 1 and 2 as well, wherever they fit.
Punisher is good.
Those are the only good shows.
Punisher and Daredevil are the best ones.
You could just skip the Defenders. Just know that between season 2 and 3, Matt teamed up with the other guys. There is some shit and something happened to him, and nobody knows what. And then that's season 3 is where you start there.
Flash says that your Rogue Remastered video is your best one.
That's a good video.
Is it? I don't know if I've even watched it. Have I seen it?
I'll show you a bit.
No, that's not what I wanted. No, not on my stream.
Just a bit. Christening 2023 with a little bit of Assassin's Creed. I reckon I can find it. Yeah, what do you think? We're gonna have to search my name. Go search my name, aren't I? Damn it, that's embarrassing. Hey, there's me.
You did do a video on The Last of Us Part 2, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because I was actually
not a proper one. Like as a little commentary.
I would really like for you to do.
Oh, that's wow. You can't even see the screen.
Yeah, because it's this. Oh wait, no, that's game. That's the game. That's the game.
Oh god, you have a different thing for everything.
Screen share, and then you need to put it over here on this screen.
Can't I just switch this, or does that not work?
I don't know. I don't. Okay. You're gonna fuck up everything now.
I don't think I'm gonna fuck it all up.
Well, you are, because then I'm gonna have to fix that when I use that.
But you can't see chat if you do that. That's really
Who
silly,
fucking
Excel.
cares?
Oh, I do. Oh, you can't even hear it. Hey, look, it's Rogue.
I don't really want to watch this.
Yeah, you do.
I don't want. Not right now.
Yeah,
like-
you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Oh, it's a joke video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think I was gonna make you watch a fucking half-an-hour critique on Assassin's Creed
I
Rogue?
don't know.
7 minutes. But we can watch the first 30 seconds. I don't remember what I said in this video.
This is so epic. Okay,
Okay.
I'm done with this now.
When did I release this? 2018.
I'll watch that in my own time.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I won't.
I don't think it's that good. Flash just likes it.
I would definitely say it's not your best video.
It's sure funny though. I also like the one I did on Odyssey, the one
The Broke Me one.
Not that one. What's it called? Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a marvel of entertainment. Or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
That's a good video. I was wrong. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no one could hear that.
Wait.
Because you had the PC audio muted.
You have all of your fucking settings so fucking stupid. Why is this like doing that as if there's...
It's telling
audio?
you that there is audio, but it's not. It's muted.
Why'd you have it muted then?
I don't know what
you
audio
must have
that
this.
is.
You must be able to hear this, and then you can hear it through here.
Oh,
Look,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine. It's not my setup. It's fine. You can do whatever you want, but it is very overcomplicated. I will just say it that much. I am just stalling as much as I can because I don't want to read this fucking chat, but I guess we got to fucking do it, don't we?
It's fine. Let's just get it over with. I don't think this is going to be a super long stream, but there is like 50 pages here, so it'll take us like at least an hour and a half, probably.
Sorry, James and Elba, if you guys share a car, I sure hope it has the seating position presets. What does that mean?
Wait, what? You can get a car that knows the preset. You can be like, it's James driving, here's the preset for James.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. We have to adjust
No,
the
you
seat
just
every
move
time.
the seat back and forth every time.
It'd be even worse
I've
if
never
we
heard
still-
of that.
It'd be even worse if we still lived at home with my parents, because I'm taller than my mum and you're taller than me. So every time my mum drove my car, I'd have to do what you do when I've driven it.
Imagine me trying to get into the car after your mum had driven it. Like, that would be mad, because as it is, like, I kind of struggle to get in when James has driven it. Even though our legs aren't that much different in length, it's
No,
my
it's our
torso that's
yeah,
taller.
because our waist is the same.
It's.
distance
I think
from
no.
the
I think
floor.
mine's probably a bit higher.
Stand up.
Okay.
I think that's true.
I think it is. Look. There's like my hip. Where's your hip?
What's a hip?
Like the bone.
Oh, here. This bit right here.
See, mine is higher.
yeah, it is
by
a
like an
little bit,
inch and a
yeah.
half, maybe.
A little bit.
But my torso is particularly higher, so I'm like 6 inches taller than. No, I'm not that much. Am I? I might be. I'm pretty taller than James.
Pretty taller.
Pretty taller.
If the stream finishes
But-
early, you guys need to write an essay about the book and what it means culturally to our contemporary society. I would do that. And
Shut
I'd-
up, Mr. I don't know what your last
I
name is,
genuinely
Andrew.
enjoy that.
So, Mr. J, stop trying to tell us what to do. We are
Mr.
not
J?
in school. Oh yeah, it's a Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, we don't have sayings, no. Also, James, I found a normal human being in my class the other day with regards to Assassin's Creed. We were at GameStop and we started talking about Assassin's Creed, and I said I hated all of the new games and the only good ones were the first few, and she was in agreement. It felt amazing to be around someone with a brain. Anyway, maybe no more Assassin's Creed chat for Advent Children.
No more AC chat before Advent Children. He must
Wait,
mean
did
no
you mean
more.
Assassin's Creed, or did you mean
Advent Children chat
Children? Did
before
I just
Advent-
out myself?
I mean, when you say AC, you could mean Animal Crossing as well. So no
Ace
more Animal Crossing
Combat.
chat.
Ace Combat.
No more Animal Crossing chat. Excuse me. Mr. Above Average. But I don't know. I said it. We actually, the mirrors work fine
I
for
meant
both of
Assassin's
us. We don't
Creed,
ever
yeah.
move the mirrors.
Wait, did you or did you not? Oh, what's going on?
We're actually replaying The Last of Us, and now we're on to part
Favorite
2.
scene, all the
It's
Last
really
of Us.
fun.
The one where
I don't know. All of it. They're just both so good. I love them both so much.
The one where Abby goes.
Where Abby goes golfing.
I guess we are the last of us after all, Lev. Alright, ready? I'm gonna power wash during. I can't wait to power wash at the weekend.
I find The Last of Us really hard as well. James plays it mostly, but I try to challenge myself by playing occasionally. But I find it hard because I'm bad with anything that's even slightly scary. So when I'm encountering like these, actually, I'm just bad at anything actually. But especially when it's scary, I'm just like I can't think straight and I just fuck up and I do stupid shit. So.
Yes, true.
Yeah, we're replaying them because of the show as well. I think it's kind of been like, oh, do you know what's really good? It's the game. Because the show has been overall really good, but like I think it's been up and down. So.
The show's been overall really good, but also overall up and down as well.
Overall, it's been really good, but I think it's been a bit up and down. I think that's fair to say.
That sounds contradictory, in my opinion.
Alright, come on, let's watch this.
Let's watch this.
Watch this? Let's read this, sorry.
Let's watch the book.
I think, see what's funny is when Flash says he's gonna power wash, I think he means the game.
Yeah, he does mean the game. I assume. I can't wait to power wash.
I encourage you to do your oil change. I think it's a good idea.
I got the Midgar DLC early the other day, but obviously I'm not going to play it till I stream it, so it's wasting my time.
Yeah,
They gave it to me early.
Oh well.
Like, it doesn't. I need to wait. What the fuck are we?
Alright. Goodbye, Kate Sith.
Oh, we have so many pages.
Hello.
Oh, we have so many pages.
I know. It's a lot.
Oh my god.
What music? Just the Shinra music?
Dun, 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 dun. That one. Tell me when you hear it, because I don't know which one it's called. Shit. Okay.
You want the original one?
This one.
Okay.
Oh, I can use this one. This one will probably be good.
This is remake though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Is this the one? That's the one, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This isn't even real.
It's too loud though.
This is someone else made it.
Why are we playing it then?
Why not? Doesn't matter.
Yes. Put on the original one.
Oh, fuck off. Okay, that one is alright.
I think it could probably be a little louder to be fair as well. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. That's fine. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Saying Director of the Administrative Research Department of... Saying Director of the Administrative...
Sang.
So it's pronounced like song.
Song.
Is the T completely silent or is it like...
Song. Song.
Song or song?
Song.
Song.
Where the fuck's chat?
Over here.
You normally have a bit... Oh.
Yeah, there, that's fine.
Song.
Song, director of the Administrative Research Department of the Shinra Electric Power Company, had been on a mission to obtain the mystical artifact known as the Black Materia before Sephiroth could. The quest had taken him from one end of the planet to the other, until it led him, at last, to the Temple of the Ancients. There, however, he encountered Sephiroth and was gravely wounded. He could do nothing but lie collapsed on the ground, watching his own blood spreading in a pool around him. He grew faint, and he knew it was only a matter of time before the end came. But just as he was resigning himself to die, Aerith and her friends arrived at the temple. They too were chasing Sephiroth. For a long time it had been Song's ongoing assignment to monitor Aerith, the last descendant of the Ancients, with the end goal of persuading her to cooperate with Shinra. While he and his colleagues were not shy about employing violent means to get results when the situation warranted, they had learned this particular operation required a gentler touch. It was a lesson paid for dearly. The attempt to control Aerith's true mother by force. I read Mother Nature for some reason. True mother by force resulted in her death. That bungled operation had left Aerith as the only living ancient in the world. She had to be approached with the utmost caution, and Sang, as a representative of the company's darker and more deadly side, Song, thought he was a poor choice for the job. Uncertain how to proceed, he let weeks pass while he did nothing more than watch over her. Funnily enough, Aerith spoke to him first. She was still a child when one day she strolled right up to him. Wait, didn't he have feelings for her?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of creepy. They met when she was a child. Ugh. Wait, wasn't she still
I don't
only
think
like?
that's like really canon. I don't think it. I don't think it actually like is anything. That whole like I don't know. People probably do think that scene means something, but I don't know. The scene where the Turks talking about who they like, I think that's the dumbest.
That is actually a really dumb
It's the
scene.
dumbest scene in the whole game.
It's so it is like haha, we are all kids with crushes, haha.
The Turks are the dumbest characters in Final Fantasy VII. They're shit. Honestly.
Yeah, I think they're better in the remake because at least they all have a lot more character and purpose, and they show up a lot more. Whereas in the main game, they're kind of just like there. I like Elena. I like Elena in the main game because she's just like a laughing stock. They just bully her.
Like I think the Turks in the base game are just like very like they just don't matter at all. But like the compilations makes it worse because again, it's Square Enix just like focusing on these characters that don't matter and go, we love them so much, they're so important. Everyone loves the fucking Turks. And it's like no. The Turks don't matter. Why are you like making them so
Yeah, they don't. But that I guess that's
like,
what happens.
Why is there a whole
when you...
chapter in this book, the longest chapter about the fucking Turks? Who cares?
What I think the thing is though, when you're making a remake, you have so much time, and they're like just filling it with things, and so they're like, oh, you know these minor characters, let's make them
in remake
important.
It's fine. In remake it's fine, but in the compilation they're not like fleshing out 7 and making them more interesting. They're just retroactively going, everyone loved the Turks. Let's just do more
in the
with
compilation.
Turks.
Oh, like in the original compilation. Oh.
Is it fine?
Okay, well, we'll
is
see.
it well? You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, come on. Let's fucking fuck. I mean, let's go.
She was a child when one day she strolled right up to him. Shut up.
We are 11.
Shut up. Okay, go. James,
What?
you're Aerith right now.
Strawberry wrote him. Thank you.
She said. Song wondered if he had heard correctly.
You're protecting me, aren't you?
She said when he didn't reply. The misunderstanding could have worked to his advantage as far as the mission was concerned, but instead he told her the truth. Honesty was rarely his policy, at least professionally, but it had to be that day.
I work for Shinra. My name is Sung. I'd like to talk to you. I hate Shinra!
Watching her small figure dash away, he felt a sense of relief. It was better this way. Even if the day came when he had to bring her in by force, he felt... Didn't he slap her on a helicopter?
Yeah, he did.
When he had to bring her in by force. That was uncalled for!
I can't believe the Whispers didn't correct that.
It doesn't happen in remake.
No.
Wait, does it not?
No.
Wait, it doesn't, does it?
No.
Okay.
Of course it doesn't.
Oh no, I was just checking.
They wouldn't fucking let that happen in this day and age.
Yeah, like they don't say the R word in the stairs thing
Ridiculous.
as well.
Can't believe the Whispers didn't fix that either. See, the Whispers are trying to keep the original fucking timeline in check, but they're not fixing the crucial moments.
You're protected people. Even if the day came when he had to bring her in by force, he felt that the one thing he couldn't stand to do was deceive her. Strange, that. Weeks turned to months, to years. Aerith grew, little changed. However, until the day she somehow fell in with the anti-Shinra organization Avalanche. That made the situation very different. Frustrated by his inability to control things, Song treated her with a cavalier villainy, so theatrical that his fellow operatives never let him live it down. But every time they mentioned it, the same thought came back to him.
It isn't just theater. To Aerith, Shinra is nothing but evil, and evil is as evil does.
In the end, even when he thought he was dying, Song still chose to face Aerith as a Turk.
Damn. Since I let you slip through my fingers, it's been one disaster after another.
And yet, Aerith shed tears for him. She found it hard to see him as an enemy when she had known him since she was small. Song never imagined anyone might mourn him.
Maybe death will be kind to me after all.
He thought, but the words that came out were more like a joke.
I'm not dead yet.
After she walked away, he sat there quietly waiting for the end. It seemed to take a long time. He felt his consciousness slip away, but the telltale rush of his spirit dissolving into the life stream had yet to come. Then salvation arrived in the form of Reeve. Well, actually, in the form of a ridiculous animatronic cat riding a fat Moogle, which Reeve operated with a bizarre level of expertise. He called it Kate Sith, and he'd used the contraption to infiltrate Aerith's party and gather intelligence. Sorry, can we just confirm? So, animatronic cat.
Animatronic cat.
So
now.
that sounds like a robot, like an animated robot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Does sound like it, doesn't it?
He called it Kate to gather intelligence.
Looks like you're in a bad way, son.
Kate Sith remarked.
Where's the black materia?
There was no reply. Every time they did ... in the game, I'd be like, or just, there is no reply. In fact, the robot didn't move at all. Robot! We're once again confirming Kate Sith is a robot. Interesting.
The robot
Okay.
secretly has emotions and feelings and is its own.
It's really confusing.
Okay, yeah.
Song was starting to wonder if it was malfunctioning when Reeve spoke again.
Sorry, I'm trying to operate 2 units at the same time.
Oh, you're doing the actual accent
It's a little
now.
complicated.
Not bad at all. You and George both do a pretty decent Scottish accent. When I was watching the stream, I was like, oh wait, that's good. Okay. Song didn't understand or care. He made himself be patient.
This is Song, right? So, the black materia. I'm going to let... Oh no, that's... So, the black materia. I'm going to let Cloud's crew have it for now. Better that than Sephiroth getting a hold of it.
So, can I just say, do you think that... I like to imagine it is Reeve doing the accent in real life.
It is, because
But...
Scarlet says, what's wrong with your voice? And he's like, no, nothing. Like, he's doing the accent down the thing in the OG. They probably change it later, but like, in the OG, he is definitely 100% doing the accent down a microphone.
I don't know though, because isn't it I guess that does insinuate it pretty clearly. But is it not possible that maybe he was just like whispering or talking? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I think you could explain it away
She
though.
says like, what's wrong with your voice? Like, it just like...
She's never heard a Scottish accent before. She thought he was sick.
I mean, he's literally the only Scottish, like, only Scottish accent in the whole of Final Fantasy VII. Okay, let's keep going.
Excuse me. Cloud. The young man was deeply involved with all these tumultuous events, but how was another puzzle to which Song didn't have all the pieces? But how was another... Oh, right. It's sometimes the book is just worded in ways that, like, you have to reread it to say it right. At the same time, it seemed inevitable that he was. Cloud was the key, Song felt certain, but he could scarcely imagine what kind of door that key might open. If they wanted to prevent the activation of the ultimate black magic, meteor, a spell with the power to destroy the world, better to let Cloud hang on to the black materia.
Cloud gets the black materia,
said Song.
Understood. And Song, I'll notify HQ of your status. Thank you. As for me, well, Cloud and the others found out I'm spying for the company, but I'm going to be staying with them anyway. They're an interesting bunch, or at least I'm interested in them. Now, hold on, I've got to move you.
It's actually really not bad.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, man.
You're doing good. Song had quite a few more questions, but as the large Moogle picked him up... Oh, sorry, the pain knocked him out. His recollection of what followed was hazy. He was hoisted aboard a ship by his former superior and 2 former comrades. Song wondered why Reeve contacted them instead of regular company employees. Maybe Reeve had been in touch with them all along. More questions arose in his mind, but Song didn't have the strength to ask any of them. He spent most of the journey unconscious before he finally came to in a small room on solid land. The smell of rust and brine in the air told him he was in Junon. Someone, the company, Reeve, had arranged for a doctor. It would appear he was going to live.
Oh, look at that. The first retcon.
It would appear he was going live on Twitch.tv.
The first retcon of Final Fantasy... No, it's the second retcon.
Wait.
Song is alive, not dead.
Do we see him actually die, or do we just see him in a... Wait, we do, don't we?
It's heavily implied he's dead.
Like, cause he's like, hello, guys, like that.
In the temple, he definitely.
Yeah, and then we kind of just leave him, don't we?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. I'm not that bothered by him living, really. To be honest, though, I don't see there an issue either way.
Well, there is an issue because it means that if characters die, they can just decide actually, no, they didn't die.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. There's an inherent issue with any sort of retconning, I guess, but I don't think it's like a huge issue in this particular case. I don't see the issue. Much happened while Song was recovering.
There's no casualties. Like, people that died should stay dead.
Well, Aerith is dead, so... Aerith was killed, and the black materia passed from Cloud's hands to Sephiroth's. Sephiroth used it to cast the terrible spell Meteor. Reports said it would be less than a week before impact. Meteor would crash into the planet and destroy everything. Nothing could alter its course, though. That didn't stop people from trying. From Midgar Sector 0, near the Shinra building, one could see the giant cannon, airlifted from Junon and now looming over Sector 8 on hastily constructed steel supports. The Sister Ray, as it was named by Scarlet, the director of weapons development, was their last hope of taking down Sephiroth. Specialized pipelines ran from each of Midgar's operational reactors directly to the sister ray, which would fire a beam of pure Mako energy, amplified by huge materia, into the distant northern cave where Sephiroth still slept. If they could destroy him, the nightmare he'd summoned would be neutralized and Meteor would vanish from the sky, or so they hoped. They also hoped that with the apocalyptic threat defeated, the monsters called forth as living weapons might return to their resting places as well.
I have like cuts on my neck.
Oh yeah, you have like a little cut there.
Yeah, when the fucking bitch was cutting my hair, she like shaved my neck and
Bitch.
cut me.
Oh no.
What the fuck?
Oh.
It's so funny every time you look into the camera, it gets me every time. I'm glad someone appreciates it.
Oh. Every time I shave my underarms, I don't know what happens, but like they get cut, and I use shaving foam and everything.
You're gonna say,
just...
I don't know what happens, but like it grows back.
It does grow back really quick. It grows back in a day.
What the fuck, man? Shit, where are we? Oh yeah. In theory, it should work.
Rude stared up at the sister ray.
And in practice?
Said Reno. He sounded serious. Unusual for him. Okay, well you didn't sound serious at all, but sure.
Well, that's as serious as Reno gets. Let's just say there are some unanswered questions. You're telling me? I got a bunch! Like what?
Rude had to ask.
Okay, check this out. Like they're gonna go ahead and fire it, right? Not even a test run? Is Midgar gonna get raised when the thing recoils? What if they miss? What if it sparks a chain reaction? What if it... If I tell you it'll be fine, will you shut up?
Rude
Sheesh.
rumbled.
No need to get pissed off. I was just asking. That's not even what Reno sounds like.
For me, Reno is very anime though. Like he's very like, hey.
Well, he's literally like fucking Axel, isn't he?
Yeah, he kind of is.
Well, that's who originally used to voice him before remake.
Really?
Yeah, Quentin Flynn, the
dodgy bloke. If you had not said dodgy bloke, I would have said dodgy bloke.
You
How
did
did we?
say it, actually.
No, but I said it at the same time as
Got
you. Really?
it memorized. Commit it to memory.
I remember we have a clip of when you were like when you told me he was a pedophile. Because I was like,
He's not a paedophile.
you said he was.
Wait.
I swear it was something like
was
that.
Was the girl underage? I thought it was just an adult. Oh, but he
Then
did
what
like do
is
some
the
weird
problem?
things at conventions, didn't he? Yeah, he's a bit weird.
Okay, well we'll just let's say alleged. Let's say we don't know. So
Isn't it alleged?
alleged.
It's
Allegedly or
allegedly or alleged.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
The Sister Ray, which was the Sister Ray, which was billed as the world's savior, accomplished nothing and ended up an enormous hunk of scrap metal. All it did was incite one of the weapons to retaliate and demolish most of the Shinra building. Reno and Rude were familiar enough with death and destruction. They were Turks, after all, but seeing it meted out on the Shinra building was a different matter. As field agents to them, headquarters was like a refuge or even home, the sanctuary they returned to after the job. Office time meant kicking back, catching up with friends, sparring with superiors, and heck, flirting with some of the folk in other divisions. Getting some more love life inside, let's go. Outside, they had to be alert and ready for anything, but at HQ they could switch off and relax. It was the opposite of normal employment, but it made their attachment to the Shinra building all the more heartfelt. As they reacted badly when the building was hit, and it got even worse when they learned that Rufus, the company president, was nowhere to be found. Many witnesses had seen the president's office take a direct hit from one weapon's energy beam. This meant the odds of the president still being alive were remote at best. It wasn't just the president either. The status of a good deal or upper management, including all the executive directors, could not be confirmed. The company's chain of command was in utter disarray. With Meteor about to strike the planet in a matter of days, most employees had simply deserted their posts. Reno and Rude's first job was to find out if Rufus was still alive, but getting to the executive levels proved tricky. The secure express elevators that went directly to the top floors weren't running, and so they were forced to head up in stages via the slower, short-distance elevators used by ordinary employees.
Imagine if you had a job that was to check if the people in the Twin Towers were still alive after the plane smashed into it. Like, they're probably dead, aren't they?
But that's like
Right.
a firefighter job, right? Like that's what firefighters would have done in the real life 9/11.
Yeah, but like imagine you're on the floor where the plane hit, like it comes through your window and explodes. That's pretty much what happened to Rufus. The beam went straight through the fucking office.
Yeah, but he might be
and
okay though.
Blew up. Man, this one isn't running either.
Reno complained.
Maybe they all went into emergency shutdown.
Said Rude.
Oh yeah, because that's helpful in an emergency. Shit. Is this song?
Long
Yeah,
black
it is,
hair. Yeah.
You two, stop bickering and take the stairs.
The two exchanged a glance and then turned. Behind them stood a familiar figure with long black hair, the last person they had expected to see here.
Chief!
Days ago, they had been told that Song was KIA. The rookie, Elena, had sworn to avenge him and had taken off for the far north in pursuit of Cloud, only to fail and return to Midgar, cursing Cloud's name. Reno and Root could practically still hear her muttering,
I'll make him pay. I will.
under her breath like an incantation. As far as any of them had known, Song really was dead,
What are you staring at? Close your mouths.
said Song.
You're alive.
Rude managed.
Obviously. There's no time for debriefing. Right.
Reno nodded vigorously, letting his boss know he'd already taken everything in his stride.
Song!
It was the voice of a young woman. The three turned together to see Elena, the rookie, making no attempt to contain her joy at seeing her commander back from the dead. She ran straight up to Song and threw her arms around him.
Look, Elena.
Said Reno.
We're all happy to see the chief, but... But what? I know you want to hug him too.
She said.
I think I'll pass.
After Song managed to extricate himself from Elena's embrace, he looked resolutely at his three operatives and nodded.
Let's get to work.
I like how goofy Elena is. She's just so dumb.
Yeah.
She just does not know how to read a room or like behave properly.
I'm interested to see what she looks like in remake.
Oh, I forgot she's gonna be in remake. Of course. Oh, I'm so excited to see how Sid looks in remake as well. Do you think they'll make him look a bit like he is in 14?
No, not at all.
Well, obviously without the third eye.
Not even similar. He'll look like this.
Oh yeah, he doesn't look anything like
Elena,
Sid from 14. Yeah,
Elena's
fair.
the only character, right, from Final Fantasy VII that has not yet been rendered in CG, right? Like 3D. She only exists in the OG, right?
Is that right? Wait, when have they done that with Sid though? Oh, in Advent Children?
Right there.
Oh.
You can see him on the front
Oh, are
cover
you
of the
saying
book.
that is the only time you've seen what Sid looks like? And everything is based off of that?
She's in AC. Wait,
Is
really?
she? Oh,
I
hi.
don't remember her at all. That's
Hi.
crazy. I thought only Reno and Rude were in that. Okay. Alright.
Stop spoiling.
It's not a spoiler.
Well, it is. I want to know who's in it.
Elva, the characters from Final Fantasy VII are in the Final
Ah!
Fantasy VII movie.
Darkness and more darkness. The monstrous weapon had struck the building. Now, Rufus Schirner was sliding down a never-ending slope, laughing all the way. It seemed... laughing all the way.
Wait, where are we?
It seemed unimaginable that such a beast could exist on the planet. But exist it did, and when it fired at the Shinra building, hitting close to the president's office, the shockwave had thrown Rufus to the floor. Other explosions followed. The ceiling collapsed, and a steel beam crushed down mere inches from his head. There would be more falling debris where that came from. He rolled under the desk, hoping it would provide some protection. When he saw the fire from the monster heading straight for the building, he had been prepared to die. But after the shockwave only knocked him down, anger replaced resignation. Rufus was furious with himself for accepting death so readily without protest.
What was I thinking? I shouldn't be welcoming death. I should be laughing in its face.
You've given, like, the Red 13 voice to, like, 4 characters.
Yeah, look, they're all edgy boys.
The anger gave him focus. The weapon might fire again. He had to get out, and fast. From his refuge under the desk, Rufus scanned the room looking for exits. What caught his eye was a small switch marked L. For loser. What? Why are you laughing?
Keep going.
Okay. It was on the underside of the desk, designed to be concealed. Something hidden here could only be something for emergencies, such as the one in which he found himself. He flipped the switch without a moment's hesitation. The section of floor beneath his back disappeared with a clunk. Helplessly, he fell a few feet and landed on his back on a hard surface. The surface was tilted. He began to slide, faster and faster.
Okay, so instead of dying in the explosion, I'm going to fall to my death in an air duct.
His predicament struck him as ridiculous. What would people think when they found his body stuck upside down in a duct halfway down the building, or jammed in a ventilation fan? While the world was locked in a desperate battle for the fate of the planet itself, the president of Shinra, the organization that was supposed to save them, was falling to his death through a hole in his own office. Excuse me. He'd laugh if it weren't for his impending death. And who built this duct anyway? Why was it at an angle, like a slide? Why was that switch labeled with an L? Then Rufus remembered a conversation with his father from almost 20 years ago, and then he did laugh. 5-year-old Rufus woke up in the middle of the night and noticed that, for once, his father was home. He went into the room prepared for no more than a gruff.
Go to bed.
But the old man was in unusual high spirits. He showed Rufus some blueprints. Fresh from the architects, he said. There were plans for the upcoming renovation of the president's office in the Shinra building. Are they actually about to say that Rufus is alive? Is that actually what's happening here?
What do you think? I'll be running the entire world from there. Wow.
Rufus pretended to be impressed while he stared hard at the plans, trying to glean something from them. Something that would earn him praise for being clever, but unable to find anything, he instead asked a question.
Father, how do you escape?
The old man creased his forehead.
What do you mean, escape? If somebody attacks, how do you get out? Listen, boy, the Shinra Company has no enemies who dare to attack me. And even if they did, the president's office is 70 floors up. No way could an attacker get up that far. Not with the security
Lol.
we have in place. Mr. Palmer said there could be attacks from space. Did he now?
The creases in the old man's brow deepened. That meant he was angry. Palmer was the director of the company's space program, and it sounded like he might be in trouble later. But Palmer always said it was his job to get yelled at, so Rufus wasn't worried for him. As long as the old man...
As long as the old man doesn't yell at me.
Rufus thought. But he could tell he'd ruined his father's good mood.
Sorry, Father. I'm getting sleepy. Tell you what, Rufus.
President Shinra ignored his son's attempt to extricate himself.
If you're that worried, I'll get them to add an escape route in case of an attack. Not for me, mind, but it'll be there for you when you become president, assuming you work hard and prove you've got what it takes. No guarantees, remember? Father? As if I'd ever need to escape. I'm sorry, Father. What are you apologizing for? Are you admitting that your idea was wrong? Maybe it was. Ha! At least you're honest about it.
By this point, Rufus could think only of getting away.
I'll make sure to label it so it's easy to find for someone who wants to escape. It'll be marked L. Got that? L for loser. This is my favorite thing
When
ever.
I said L for loser, I was kidding. Rufus wished he could go back and shake the hand of his 5-year-old self. He seemed to have been sliding down the escape chute forever. It must go all the way down to the lowest levels. Rufus found himself with plenty of time to reflect on his life. Trivial incidents he'd all but forgotten came back to him, and when he realized his father featured in most of them, it struck him that he had always been seeking his father's approval, trying desperately to surpass the old man. But he'd gone about it all the wrong way, with petty acts of rebellion and disloyalty that incurred his father's wrath rather than his respect. The banality of it all struck him as funny. Here he was, a grown man going down a slide in the dark, brooding as he went about childhood's slights and father's disapproval. Finally the chute ended, and Rufus was hurled at high speed into a small white room, brightly lit. He let out a grunt as he slammed into the opposite wall. Eep.
Eep. God, this is amazing. So now you know the joke. Rufus survives because he took the L. Rufus literally retcons his own death by taking an L. When he was 5. His father calls him a loser, and then literally marked an escape route with an L. He's like, you fucking loser. So stupid.
Had that pathetic sound come from himself? Ridiculous. It felt like he had broken some ribs, but he still couldn't stop laughing at himself, crumpled upside down in a heap against the wall like a discarded puppet. Eventually, though, the bout of near hysteria passed, and the pain of the broken bones forced him back into the present. Still lying on the floor, he struggled into a position that hurt less and looked around the room to take stock of the situation. The room was about 16 feet square. Next to the chute from which he'd emerged, there was a simple cot, dressed with clean linen sheets that nonetheless had a fine layer of dust over them. The entirety of the wall to the right was taken up by a closet. To the left there was a steel door. Bracing himself against the pane, Rufus dragged himself over to the door and examined it from where he lay on the floor. He saw no doorknob or handle of any kind, but there was a small input panel which likely controlled the door. Perhaps there was an access code, but he had no idea what it might be, not even how many digits it would be, and right now he didn't have the energy to figure it out. So he ignored the door and went to the closet on the opposite side, pushing himself across the floor with his legs as he lay on his back. Hi, Tsuna! Yes, we do. We have 2 copies because they accidentally sent us 2.
You did.
So it came in really handy for this. But yeah, welcome in. Nice to meet you. Shit.
Why'd you stop reading?
Because I forgot where I was.
Across the floor with his legs as he landed.
Oh yeah, I was just laughing at that because I was like, we went to see Cocaine Bear, and it's like that bit where the bear pushes himself on his legs on his back. That's what I'm picturing, but it's Rufus. Where is that? You're like the person I
Himself
sit next
across
to in English
floor with
class
his
when
legs as
I
he
get
lay on his
asked to
back.
read. Thank
Okay.
you. He was glad no one was around to see this. At least the closet was easy to open. It was packed with sealed boxes printed with the Shinra logo. He took one from the lowest shelf since he couldn't reach any higher, and found that the lid was marked too. L.
His dad was like so upset. He's like, "You fucking loser! You fucking loser! I'll never need to escape!" He fucking died in his office.
Oh, I don't want to. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know many people that even know these exist, let alone have the books. I've listened to fan-made audio versions. Really, we're making a fan-made audio version right now.
Bad one.
Really, do people not buy the books then? They don't know the books exist, or
Well, they're not super mainstream popular.
I guess
Like,
we're just really cool. Clearly.
plus they're old too.
I guess
Like,
so. I really am enjoying it though. I mean, this chapter I can tell is not the best part, but I love the
Everything else is
Nanaki chapter
great,
and the
yeah.
Yuffie chapter, and I really like the bits on Tifa. You get so much more about her.
The first 130 pages are fucking.
The
Incredible.
whole book except this bit here, this little chunk, is really good. I really like them. Well, the different stories and the meaning of all of them is so beautiful. I love it. But Nanaki's is always gonna be my favorite. I love him so much. I'm sure the sales of Traces of Two Pass will far surpass the rest of the books.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, is that the new one coming
That's
out?
the new one. It's still not. It was meant to come out last year. Then they delayed it again. It's already out. It's already been out in Japan for like half a year. But they keep delaying the English translation.
Oh, okay.
I think it's supposed to come out next month, right? If they don't delay it again.
The stories are amazing. I used to use them to help me sleep a lot. Oh, that's sweet. It's a beautiful book. This would be a really nice, wholesome book to read at night.
Oh man, if Traces does
Or
come out,
listen
I'll
to.
finally get to read it, and it'll be sick, and I'll get to finally read
Is that
it.
going to be good then? Do people think
Flash says it's good.
good?
And Flash has not been wrong yet. So
Yeah, Flash seems to have a pretty good opinion on these things. So.
Flash's only L is saying Horizon Forbidden West is bad, but you know, everyone gets one.
That is an L. Yeah, that is your L.
Everyone gets one L.
This month, the 21st. Oh, no way. That's soon. It's only a few weeks away. You saw no door. Oh, shit.
Rufus snorted.
Rufus snorted cocaine. And then...
And then slid himself across the wall cocaine there.
Rufus snorted, and then once again laughter rose uncontrollably from his gut, but the stabbing pain from his ribs quelled it as he quickly... Fuck!
As he quickly came!
Quelled it as quickly as it came. He opened the box. Inside were potions in various bottles and packages containing conventional medicine. Magical potions could degrade and turn poisonous over time, so he set those aside, tossed back a synthetic painkiller and waited for the effect to kick in. As he lay there, he looked at the ceiling. It was emblazoned with the giant L!
Oh god. Don't make me laugh anymore, old man.
It sounds like, I think Rufus is taking it in good fun, but I think like his dad was genuinely like, fuck
This
you,
is like
stupid little kid.
crazy behavior. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is madness.
His dad was like, he went to great lengths to make sure there was a genuine escape route planned, but he just like put L's everywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking L.
I guess
Fuck
he didn't believe he would ever need it. So,
Then why'd he make it?
well,
None of this makes sense. This is the dumbest thing ever.
yeah.
And also, like, it's just, if you imagine the blueprints of the Shinra building, right? You know the Shinra building is like that bit in the middle, and then the bottom is like there's a bunch of pipes, and then the city goes out from there, right?
Yeah.
Just imagine it's just a big chute that goes just like right down the center of the fucking building, from the office all the way to the bottom. Like, he slid down, like it's a big slide. He just slid down the inside of the building.
He's just in a fun park,
It's
really.
so ridiculous.
I think it's really
so
funny.
fucking ridiculous. It's like something from a fucking like Looney Tunes cartoon. Like, what the fuck is this?
I want to see this scene in remake.
Oh god, yeah, they're gonna have to include it in fucking like in the third part of the
Oh,
remake
they're gonna
trilogy,
have to because
he's
it's
gonna
canon.
unless they commit to him dying, which they absolutely won't because they've made him so important in remake with the you can see the whispers too. They're gonna have to have that scene. They're gonna have to show that he escapes. So we're gonna have maybe we'll have a whole chapter where we get to play as Rufus sliding down a
It's
thing.
a mini game, and you have to get
You have
the
to go
points.
side to side.
Oh, who needs an elevator. Yeah, he could have built an elevator. He could have built
man.
a small elevator, but instead it's a slide.
Yeah, and if it's not in remake, it'll definitely be in Ever Crisis because Ever Crisis is doing the whole compilation. So there you
He
go.
took more of the painkiller than he should have, and the hours drifted by in a haze. The power of modern medicine made it comfortable here, and excuse me, I keep burping. I'm sorry. The power of modern medicine made it comfortable here in the shelter, but it didn't entirely numb the frustration of being removed from the action. At a time like this, he needed to be out there, organizing a response, providing leadership. At length, he pulled himself to his feet, leaned against the wall by the control panel, and tried entering different codes. No good. His concentration faltered. He didn't have the energy to focus on the problem. It was the drug's fault, he knew. Still, he gulped down more of it anyway. Reno and Rude stood in the wreckage of the president's office.
No idea which one this is. Not a trace. Yep. We checked 3 times, right? Thoroughly. So maybe he's alive. Could be.
Several steel beams had fallen from the ceiling and
wrote
smashed into the
this?
floor of the office. They had been careful to search under them to make sure Rufus had not been trapped there.
It was this guy. Either.
But where do we start
Well,
looking?
Where do we start looking? I assume that's Reno. Alright.
As the meteor drew closer, it had begun to affect the atmosphere and kick up gale force winds. The Turks ignored the storms and the threat looming in the sky as they continued to search for Rufus. They had directed rescue workers to scour the building, but as yet there was no sign of the president. Reno and Rude decided to search an area at the back of the first floor main entrance of the building. An inconspicuous door led to a series of sub-level passageways that, in normal times, were reserved for executive use only. President Shinra, the previous head of the company, had supervised the construction of the zone, and the interior reflected his taste. Apart from the stately entrance, there was little by way of decoration. The ceilings, the walls, the floors, everything was covered in unadorned steel plates.
There's nothing here.
Said Reno.
Come on, Rude. We're wasting our time. Wait.
Rude held up a hand and pointed to a section of the wall.
Is it just me, or is that wall section a different color?
Rufus was propped against the wall, staring at the panel and the keys numbered 0 through 9. It crossed his mind that he could try all the possible numeric combinations, which would get him out of here, he calculated, at some point within 40,000 years or so.
Scratch that option off the list.
He thought. Unless his father had chosen a truly random code, in which case that 40,000-year option was all he had. He could work it out. It might be a sequence of numbers that stood for something, but whatever it was, it didn't help if it only meant something to his father, and not him. So far, the few numbers he had tried that might have some significance to them both, like his mother's birthday and the day she had died, failed to unlock the door. He didn't know how much time had passed since his rough landing in the room, but the fact that he was still alive meant Meteor hadn't struck yet. It was only a matter of time, of course. The Tista had failed to work, Sephiroth was still in his crater, and there was nothing left that could stop Meteor from striking the planet. Rufus thought about his death. Supposedly human spirits merged into the life stream that coursed through the earth. He imagined meeting the spirit of his father and talking to him, though it was hard to picture. What sort of form did a disembodied spirit take? But of course he knew it didn't work like that anyway. The consciousness of individuals probably could not survive long in the overwhelming torrent of the planet's energy. But then he remembered that the planet itself was unlikely to survive the coming cataclysm. So none of them could even look forward to an afterlife floating in the life stream. The hopelessness of it all made him laugh again. He reached into the pocket of his white suit for the bottle of painkillers. He tossed 3 tablets into his mouth and stared at the panel as he chewed.
I know I'm dead anyway.
He thought.
I'd rather not die in here.
There was one sequence of numbers he hadn't yet tried, though it had been on his mind since he first saw the control panel. It felt like pinning his hopes on that number would be to admit that the old man got another one over him, again. But then, did that matter anymore? Reno and Rude examined the steel paneling. As Rude had said, it was a different color than the surrounding panels, but that was the only thing that set it apart.
It was probably just a replacement panel or something. Come on, let's get at it.
Reno stopped mid-sentence. The 3-foot wide panel was sliding downwards and disappearing into a slot at the base of the wall. They looked at each other and then peered through the hole. Beyond, they could see a small white room.
Hello?
Reno was about to step in when Rufus emerged from behind the wall.
Just who I needed to see.
Said the young leader of Shinra before he collapsed to the ground.
Boss!
As Reno held Rufus, Rude poked his head into the white room. He gave the place a once-over. It was clearly a panic room or emergency shelter. Next to the door, there was a control panel where 4 digits blinked on the display. There was no way for Rude to know it, but the code number was the same number the previous president had used for all his devices. It was a series of numbers he had never forgotten. His son's birthday.
What? Wait. Didn't it say Reno and Rude were standing in the president's office?
Yeah, I was thinking how.
And the wall.
But that means he didn't slide anywhere.
But it said he did.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
He slid down and ended up on the same floor that he started at.
It makes no sense. I was literally thinking that too. I was like, are Reno and Rude not looking where he should be, which is his office?
Yeah.
And so if they're looking in his office, how could he have slid? He clearly slid to the bottom of a fucking building.
Like Sonic, you do a loop-de-loop and go back up. What? What the fuck? I was in assumption she slid like 64. Yeah, exactly. But then it says that Reno and Rude are in the president's office.
How about it says that, but then they leave, and they go to the ground floor, and they look around, and they're like, hey, that panel. They made a book that's awesome. It is a good book. It's a really good book. Except this. But it's a really good book.
Wait. Reno and Rude decided to search an area at the back of the first floor main entrance of the building. An inconspicuous door led to a series of sub-level passageways that in normal times were reserved for executives only. President Shimura, the previous head of the company, had supervised the construction of the zone. The interior reflected his taste, blah, 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 blah. Why did we both think they were in his office?
Because it makes sense that they would have been in his office, but
Oh, because just the paragraph before is Reno and Rude stood in the wreckage of the president's office. And then next paragraph, they went somewhere else.
Brain forgot. Yeah, welcome in Gold Saucer Gaming. I highly recommend the book.
Gaming.
I love the Gold Saucer. Yeah, I do recommend it. Just maybe skip this.
Yeah, this chapter's...
There's some really good shit in here, though. There really is.
They've already retconned 2 deaths.
Let's go!
So Song didn't die, and Rufus also didn't die.
That is really dumb. I wasn't bothered by Song, but I'm bothered by Rufus.
Starts to add up when they all don't die.
Is this you reading for the first time? Yes! James has read it already. I haven't. This is my first read through. And how many have you done so far?
All of them.
Do you how many chapters? We're on the last one. Yeah. This is the last chapter, yeah. I do have VODs if you wanted to go back and look at them, but...
Yeah, do exclamation mark VODs in chat.
Does that work?
Flash, did you do it?
Flash can do it. Flash, try.
I think that's probably set it up. Yeah, see, there it is.
Oh, yay!
They're all in one book? Yeah. They're all in one book.
Yeah, so there's episode Denzel, which is like a new character, and then you've got an episode for Tifa, an episode for Yuffie, an episode...
already knows. So Denzel's a new character.
Oh yeah.
So he came out very recently in 2005.
You know,
He's a new character.
They asked, are they all in one book? And I'm saying, well, maybe they don't know then.
Brand spanking new, shiny and new character Denzel that came out 17 years ago.
Why did you? I can't believe you timestamped the VODs, Flash. How did you have time to do? I mean, I guess they're not that long.
You do that for me.
Well, you didn't do VODs you didn't read the book on stream.
Oh no, I just meant in general.
Why would he generally timestamp every VOD you ever uploaded?
Pay me and I will. Not worth it. What if I give you all the money I make on my VODs channel? You can just have that if you want. I'm not gonna tell you how much it is till you agree.
So I just got here. Does it only take place in Midgar? Yes. Yeah. Well, no, because Yuffie.
Not at all.
Literally no. I'm sorry. I
all
thought
over the world.
When you said Midgar, in my head I was thinking, what do they call the planet? Gaia or something?
Gaia.
Yeah. Why would it not take place in Gaia? I don't know why I read it that way. I'm sorry. That was dumb. Yeah. It's basically it takes place right before Advent Children, the movie, which I'm yet to watch. So no spoilers, please. But. This came out after Advent Children, but it is a what's the word again? A prequel. So it sets up like where everybody's at. It sets up where like Tifa, Cloud are at, Yuffie.
Who are you explaining this
to?
Person who knows
Gold
the
Saucer
book.
Gaming.
Oh.
They did say. Oh, well, they said that they made a book that's awesome. They don't know the book.
I thought you were explaining to someone that already knew the book. I was like, why?
Well, I'm just responding to comments. I don't know. Maybe people don't remember it, even if they have read it. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
Yeah, it has live stream chapters too. Black and white, 3 of each.
Oh yeah, they're really weirdly interesting.
Black are all Sephiroth's thoughts in the live stream, and white are all Aerith's thoughts in the live stream.
True.
And they're both gearing up for something. maybe a retcon or two. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it has live stream chapters, that's right. But it doesn't have that one you mentioned, Maiden Who Traveled the Planet.
That's a book.
Is that a whole book on its own?
That's, yeah.
Because I think Zunamods has listened to it or something, because they said they didn't realize there's a book, or they haven't read the book or something.
Whoever made the fan-made audios might have, like,
combined them or something, yeah.
Yeah. Livestream Black and White are from On the Way to a Smile, and Maiden is just a separate book.
It's a separate book. Is that any good? Have you read that?
It's not canon.
Oh, it's not
I
canon.
haven't read it.
What's it about?
Aerith.
Oh.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I
I can't tell you.
Oh no, you look like you knew about it.
She's on the front cover, I think.
Alright,
The kids are alright. Fucking slaps, that's a great book.
The kids are alright fucking sucks?
No, slaps, I said.
Oh.
The Kids Are Alright, a Turk side story. It's the only good piece of media about the Turks that I will accept.
Oh, it's about the Turks?
Nah, not really. It's called a Turk side story, but it's not about the Turks at all.
Huh.
Weird.
Okay.
I don't know why it's called that.
Okay. It's really random.
The Turks are just in it a lot.
Okay.
It's not about them.
Okay. Hey, Rude, call in medical already.
Hey, Rude, call in medical already.
Reno shouted.
And how about a sit rep on what's going on outside?
What's a sit rep?
Sit rep, like,
Situation report?
Yes.
But one word? I figured it out myself. I didn't need you.
I didn't know that's what it stood for, but I knew that's what it meant.
Oh. I mean, I could have guessed what it meant, but... Spoiler film, but... Oh, no worries. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so I've played the original.
How is he?
How
is he?
I've played the original. I'm reading this book. I'm going to watch Advent Children, and I'm going to play all the other games.
Unfortunately, that's a shame.
No, I think I'll enjoy Advent Children, like you said, now that I've read the book first. But you're all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm pretty much doing the whole compilation for the first time, so...
What a shame. How is he?
I really like the original game, though. I'm scared. Say it again.
How is he?
Said Rude several times.
Tired, injured, fast asleep, but alive.
The president's breathing.
That. I thought that was. Never mind. Keep going.
Oh yeah, I don't know. The president's
deep.
Breathing was deep and even.
Guess he figured he could relax once he saw the cavalry had shown up.
But his attempt at levity felt hollow.
Good.
Rude replied, then headed outside. He meant it too. In the darkness of the storm-racked night, Rude stood at the back exit of the Shinra building. The ground was littered with panels of the facade, twisted... Wait, that is what that means, right? Facade is spelt like that,
facade,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Twisted metal and the chunks of concrete that had fallen from the building. Shards of broken glass glittered in the floodlights that had been deployed to assist the efforts of the rescue workers. Above them, helicopters swept the scene with searchlights. Rude found himself taking it all in with a measure of calm.
Why do you glitch out and buffer?
Well, sometimes my throat is all gets clogged up. Sometimes,
lubricate
like
it.
today. I wish I could, but I can't.
Get some oil.
Ew! Drink
just
oil.
down some vegetable oil.
That's disgusting.
I mean, it would work. Honey.
It would not.
Drink some honey. Swallow a.
Just a spoonful of honey helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down.
Right? You're supposed to have it when you have a sore throat.
Oh no. But yeah, no. Honestly, Flash is on it when he wants to be. I think I don't know why, but I think the compilation is maybe important to him, even though all I hear mean things about it.
Here we go. Look, I got.
But yeah, don't worry about it. You didn't know. It's all good. Okay, made all that. Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
There you go.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Oh man.
Honey tastes nice. Don't cry about it.
But it's a lot.
Go on, and let it drip down your throat. Because when I was trying to figure out how to stop my sore throat when I had that really bad sore throat, the internet was like, you wanna not just straight up swallow it. You wanna let it just fall down the back of your tongue. Like Nemo, when Marlin and Dory are in the whale. You alright? Let me guess, you don't like honey.
I do normally. This is a weird tasting one.
It's a very nice taste. Honey. The compilation is not important to me, for the record. No, it is. It is.
No, Flash is just a good little mod. You good little mod, aren't you, Flash?
Ruffles hair.
He's a good little mod. Where's Sora? I need to tell him he's a good little mod. Oh. Why is it pointing over there? What the fuck? Oh, I did that. I was the one that did that, actually. Never mind. Oh. Put it down. Down. There you go. Who's a good little mod? Who's a good little dog? No, don't stack things on him again. Let's not do that. He said, huh? Why is this camera so fucked right now? Sora likes to turn the TV on. All the time. He's a very good TV dog. Honestly, you'll come home after leaving him here all day and he'll be watching trailers on TV.
He watches the Amazon Prime trailers
Yeah.
on the feed.
I think it's when you turn the TV on and press a certain button, it goes on like this like constant playthrough of different trailers and he's always watching them. I like to imagine that it's like Toy Story, where like he actually does know what's going on, he does it on purpose, but then he just pretends to be a normal dog when he's around us.
When we come home, he flops.
You know, I think that honey actually did help.
Yeah.
And I actually do think it helped.
That's
It actually
what
like
does.
lubricated my throat.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Power washer.
lol, dog quirks. Little doggy quirks. Sora has a lot of dog quirks. He gets up on our sideboard like a cat.
What a quirky
My cat
boy.
pauses videos. How? Wait. Using touch. Oh, wait. Just the pause button, right? That's great. The cat goes, no more.
My cat pauses
Sora,
videos. Like,
Sora is pause his video. That's cute. No, Sora is also like a cat actually, so I bet they have things in common.
Sora watched the trailer for the brand new Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
He
and
probably did.
He said to me, "I think that movie looks really good," and I was like, "Common Sora W."
-1, -2. Wait, where were we?
Good. In the
Rude
darkness
replied,
of the
then headed
storm-wrapped
outside. He
night.
meant it too. In the darkness of the storm-wracked night, Rude stood at the back exit of the Shinra building. The ground was littered with panels of the facade, twisted metal, and chunks of concrete that had fallen from the building. Shards of broken glass glittered in the floodlights that had been deployed to assist the efforts of the rescue workers. Above them, helicopters swept the scene with searchlights. Rude found himself taking it all in with a measure of calm. Calm. Get it? Calm. The fact that Rufus was alive had restored his confidence. Rufus was the Shinra company. For better or worse, Shinra was still operational, more or less. And as long as Shinra existed, so would the Turks. It was too painful to think of a life without the Turks. A fist-sized chunk of wood, caught in the powerful downdraft of a low-flying chopper, flew inches past his head at injurious speed. Rude smiled. He loved danger, and danger loved him.
Who wrote this?
I love
Why
Rude.
is this chapter so much worse?
It is wild to think the rest of the book
The
was
rest
written
of this
by the
book
same
is
person.
incredible. Why is this chapter so weird?
With Rufus back from the dead, Rude knew there'd be
loved
more
danger,
dangerous
and
work ahead for him.
loved him.
He's just a cool dude, okay?
Nojima wrote that down.
He's just a cool dude.
He loved Danger. Danger loved him.
James, we are making really slow progress here. He made his way around the building, stepping over the scattered debris as he went. Terrified people were crouched down here and there, cowered from the winds and perhaps all from the sight of arms and legs protruding from under the wreckage. That made no sense. Rude checked the... I don't think I'm reading it right. Rude checked the people who had been trapped, looking for survivors. Those who were alive would sometimes recoil in fear when they saw him. With his clean-shaven head and gleaming shades, he excluded menace.
Wait, he shaves his head. It's not natural baldness.
Well, a lot of people who have natural baldness just don't have much, like, it doesn't grow very well, so he just shaves it to make it fully bald.
He clean shaves it with like a razor, like a very close shave.
Ooh, like the ones that could, like, literally kill you if... I don't know how anyone could trust, like, anyone holding those razors.
I do not think that it could kill you if you shaved your head and cut yourself.
No, but, like, it's a razor that they could just slit your throat with.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That's what
I don't know...
That's what do when they shave my neck.
Yeah, and to be fair, when I get my fringe done, sometimes the girls will use a razor to cut it instead of scissors. But like,
Scissors.
no, I just said instead of scissors. Anyway,
Scissors.
I don't like it though. Like the people who get their beard shaved by barbers and they use those, I'm like, he could just go.
They get this line perfectly straight.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I have razors you could use to
I'm
do
not
that.
gonna do that. I'm not qualified.
qualified.
I'd cut myself.
I shave my face with them sometimes.
Well, like just a like
It's
a
a razor, yeah, but it's not like the ones the barbers use, like where it's big. It's just like really small. It's for women's face, but it would work on yours too.
No, it wouldn't, because your hairs are thinner and like weaker.
It is literally a
Mine
razor.
are
It is
strong.
literally a
No,
razor.
but yours are built, so
It's-
like be careful. Like I need a big fat.
No, not for something like that. Like you wouldn't use it there. Excuse me, but you'd use it on your face. It's for facial hair.
They always when they shave
Albeit
your
not
neck,
really for like shaving
when
this
they,
all
when
off,
they shave your
but
neck,
like
they get a little like cotton thing, and they put cold water on it, and they rub it on your neck, and you go. And it gives you goosebumps. That probably makes it easier for them to shave it though, because all your hair goes stands on it.
is that how that works?
I don't think that's why they do it, but it probably does help.
Maybe.
I imagine if your hair's standing on end, it's easier to shave it. They do it just to wet end, like so it's wet, and then they let
Oh
it
yeah,
dry.
well they always like cut my hair wet as well because it's just easier to get precision, I guess. Strong enough for a man, made for a woman. Despite the attempt to explain it, every man here knows exactly what you mean.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
They've never got a cotton ball and put it on me before.
No,
I'm
because
gonna
they
ask.
don't shave your neck.
Well, I'm gonna get my neck
you,
shaved.
don't, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just cutting my hair.
No, I think I get it. Maybe.
Can you see my neck? You know when they cut me? It's because they razor my neck. So
Yeah.
it's because hair grows here, so they're just shaving it off.
I think it's really funny because they go down here and then it's just part of your back hair.
I know.
Oh, like why do they do that? They not
Sometimes
realize
go
you've got a hairy back,
really low down, and it looks stupid.
and you just get this curve at
I
the
just
top
have
of
a
your
line,
back.
the fucking hair on my back.
Oh god, sorry, we're doing a bad job of reading today.
This chapter sucks.
We're just gonna make it fun somehow.
Is this the one with the? No, that's from The Kids Are Alright, isn't it? Or is it this?
He made his way around the building, stepping over the scattered debris as he went. I already read that, sorry. Rude checked the people who had been trapped, looking for survivors. Those who were alive would sometimes recoil in fear when they saw him. With his clean-shaven head and gleaming shades, he exuded menace. He was used to their reaction. It gave him grim satisfaction to see he still earned it, even in a crisis. Some of the rescue workers scurrying around were staff from a company-funded hospital. Rude grabbed one of them and told him there was an injured man inside the building who needed attention. He carefully omitted the name Rufus. He didn't want to cause a stir.
A Shimmer employee?
Asked the doctor.
That's right. We'll make it top priority. Good.
The doctor nodded and called to a colleague who had a stretcher, and they hurried around the back of the building. As he watched them go, Reed thought he'd better go after them and make sure they were able to find Rufus. As he did so, he caught sight of a young girl talking on a phone. It was one of Cloud's pals, a girl named Yuffie!
Oh god, thank god we got a reference, gamers.
Everything's okay when Yuffie's here.
What would we do without a reference?
She was considered hostile to the Shinra company and on the Turk's person of interest list, but there was no need to engage now. Fighting was something he did only when directed or when someone tried to interfere with an operation. Rude watched as she scampered off, her light-footed figure darting through the shadows and over the debris. I have no idea.
When is this set?
Sorry, Nick. Where would it? Oh, your turn.
Because she spent...
Maybe she's here just looking. I actually have no idea.
Where will you take him?
Rena said, helping the rescue worker get Rufus onto the stretcher.
To the hospital for now. But after that, who knows? What do you mean? I mean, if you happen to notice that big rock in the sky, when that thing hits... Oh wait, this is still before the end of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, it must be, right?
Oh.
But I don't know, I still don't know why she's there.
With the gang. They're going to kill Hojo.
Ah, so she was just off by herself
Going
for a
to
minute there.
murder Hojo. Beat him bloody.
This is what Yuffie does when she's not in your party. She hangs around the Shinra building.
To the hospital for now, but after that, who knows? What do you mean? I mean, there's a big rock in the sky. When that thing hits, our bets are off. I'm gonna keep trying to help people, but frankly, there doesn't seem much point. Fair enough. Come on this way.
Reno led the
Like, memorized?
Reno led the rescue worker through a small door out to the main lobby. Ooh,
Huh?
Shit,
I
shit,
didn't
shit,
know.
shit, shit, shit.
That's Faye. Hey! Huh! Oh shit, what am I doing? That sounds like Sonic.
Faye.
Huh! I didn't know there was a door there! The bald guy could have told us there was a shortcut. Wait, who the fuck is this?
I don't know.
I didn't know there was a door there. The bald guy could have told us there was a shortcut. Executive use only, so don't go telling your friends. Sir, I can keep my mouth shut.
Satisfied with the reply, Reno nodded and continued on toward the exit. He was almost out of the building when he spotted the back of Yuffie's head disappearing around a corner.
You got this? I just saw someone who might be a problem.
He asked the worker.
Of course, sir. We'll handle it. Who's the patient, by the way? He'll tell you himself when he wakes up. Just make sure to put him in the best room you got. All the bells and whistles. Boss? This guy looks a lot like Rufus Shinra.
Whispered one of the men carrying the stretcher.
Don't worry, he's just a doppelganger that, like, some guy who looks just like him.
Don't worry. Later people would come to call it the Chosen Day, or more simply and ominously, that day. Rufus was in the town of Kalm, a short distance from Midgar, when the astounding event occurred. The hospital was in chaos, overrun with patients, and it would have been impossible to ensure the president's safety there. When Rufus had regained consciousness, the Turks charged with his protection convinced him to move to a modest company-owned residence in Kalm. They could have used the helicopter to take him further from the city, but Rufus said no. He had only agreed to move out of Midgar with reluctance, and he would not run any further than Kalm. When the world teetered on the verge of annihilation, trying to run and hide just looked bad. 4 Turks moved through the doomed city of Midgar. Meteor was so close it seemed they could reach up and touch it. They had already carried out their main duty and gotten Rufus to safety, although safety was a relative concept at best with an apocalypse looming. But end of the world or not, they still had jobs to do, and they would not give up on them while they still lived. Your turn.
There's no point in dwelling on what will happen when Meteor hits. Wait, who's saying this?
I don't know.
God damn it.
Song is, sorry.
We have to operate under the assumption that the worst will be averted.
Song had announced when he issued orders for the Turks to organize the evacuation of Midgar.
It's not really what Song sounds like.
It isn't, but who cares?
He's like,
hey, Meteor Morning, hello.
Aerith,
Finally able to catch you before it ended.
Don't you hear voices in your head?
You're in good time. We still have a decent bit to go. Sorry, James.
I don't know. You know you're going. I'm just trying to get the voice right.
Yeah, welcome in.
I have not played Before Crisis, and I don't intend to, but Flash lets me know every time there's an obscure reference to it.
Song had announced when he issued orders for the Turks to organize the evacuation of Midgar.
Well, to be fair, I will play it as part of Ever Crisis, so there you go.
The city was already feeling the effects of Meteor's proximity. Windstorms were growing more ferocious, and earthquakes shook the slums and plate zones alike, bringing down buildings and infrastructure. In the throes of nature's fury, the metal city creaked and groaned.
So now, at the end of the world, we're supposed to become do-gooders? Figures, considering who's giving the orders.
Said Rude, half under his breath.
And how so?
Said Reno.
Chief is trying to clear his conscience. Is how so? Oh yeah, that makes sense.
When Reno saw their former commander, Verdo, in Midgar with some of their old comrades, he wondered if Meteor was making him hallucinate. Once in the past, the Turks had acted against the company's interests. They had done it only to save the world. Saving Verdo and his daughter in the process was incidental. Still, what they'd done was against the rules. When he looked back at it, Reno thought this time might have been a high point for camaraderie.
Oh shit, this is Before Crisis, isn't it?
In the Turks, and that the Turks would never feel like that again. But as they came together to help out the shocked and bedraggled citizens of Midgar, it started to feel like those days once more. He was enjoying this last kick at the can. Wait, so they did something good once before too?
Yeah, they did once before in a mobile game that 2 people played.
In the wake of that incident, President Shinra and the other execs...
Give it everything you've got.
Thanks for following, Suda! Happy to have you. President Shinra and the other execs had decided to disband the Turks and terminate the organization, with extreme prejudice. The one who saved both their lives and their jobs had been the then vice president, one Rufus Shinra. The Turks had been in his debt ever since. They'd paid part of the debt in the last few days when they rescued Rufus and got him to the relative safety of Kalm. Now Reno was working by his side with friends and colleagues he'd never expected to meet again. Even if they had only a few days left, he thought, he wouldn't end up with too many regrets.
Does anybody know what President Shinra's first name is? The original President Shinra.
His full title
like,
is President
I feel like
Shinra.
with the amount of lore and like wiki entry bullshit they've done, how have they not named Rufus's dad yet? Or have they, and am I just not remembering?
I bet it's like Wilfred.
Wilfred Shinra. William Shinra.
Yeah, something like that. Meteor
Never
was...
been named? Oh.
Wow.
Okay, of course.
Meteor was shattered in the sky above Midgar, and the planet was saved from destruction thanks to the life stream that burst out of the ground. It was the triumph of the ultimate white magic, wholly, over the ultimate black magic of Meteor. The battle waged by Cloud and his friends was essential to that victory. But people could only know what they saw, and they believed that it was the planet itself that had saved them from annihilation. Give Cloud the credit he deserves!
Yes.
But there was a good attempt at an English fan version of the game to name him. His first name is Trump. Love that.
No,
yes,
not
very
to
good.
name him.
I don't know. What do they mean? It really is, but there was a good attempt.
Bring in me, Jas, and a guy from Japan, and maybe the 3 people on the planet who know the story before Crisis. And it's an exclusive club. It really is, but there was a good attempt at an English version.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than naming.
I will finally be able to experience the story as part of Ever Crisis, and it will be shit, because apparently there's, whatever.
Or maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be really good. Reno and Rude were in the Shinra building when it happened, directly below Meteor.
Oh man, now what?
Said Reno as the live stream cascaded in a furious rush around the building, causing it to shudder and sway. It poured in through the windows and smashed everything in its path like an unstoppable rush of water breaching a dam. Reno and Rude scampered to the safest place they could find, which happened to be the restroom stalls.
This is my fault.
Said Reno through the wall. They were each...
That's rude. Said rude through the wall.
Sorry, said Rude through the wall. They were each in their own stall.
What is? Us being here. I wanted to get my kitten now.
He muttered. Reno realized he was apologizing, sort
It's
of.
cool. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Wasn't like Reno to cut anyone slack like that. Rude didn't know what to say.
Rude?
Reno couldn't stand the silence, apparently.
What? You know, we've been working together for a pretty long time. Guess so. Like partners. Are we partners? Sure. Hey, partner.
That's kind of cute. I was for sure gonna...
Don't worry that they dropped the play on tons of people because they did the cute thing one time in a book, so they did mass murder.
Oh, you were like, good attempt. It was a bit of sarcasm. Bless your heart. Don't worry, mate. Don't need to be polite in this chat. No, everyone's rude here. Get it? Rude. Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? We're all rude. Wait.
Got it memorized, motherfucker.
We're all rude here. I'm rude. Get it? Get it? Get it? I'm rude. Get it?
Tails. You're a motherfucker. Okay, we ready? Come on, let's go.
You never know where the devs could be lurking. I'll tell you where the devs are right now. Every single one of them. They're in my stream chat right this fucking second.
Katase's in stream
To
chat
be fair,
right now.
I say that as a joke, but literally Darby was in your stream,
true.
so I mean, obviously not. It's not going to happen to me, but it does happen. I'm
Katase
sure.
and Nomura, get the fuck out of chat right now.
Get out!
Get the fuck out of my house.
It is true though. Like you never know what people are gonna see. Like I personally, I like to be relatively not outright rude about things. You like to be outright rude about everything.
Outright rude.
And that's kind of where the like a lot of people in my streams come from your community.
Rude.
And
I'm not saying it
well,
to them.
it's just aggressive sometimes.
Like,
the way
I'm not
going to
go up to Katase and say Final Fantasy VII's compilation fucking sucks, mainly because I don't have that opportunity. If I did, I would do
If
it.
you did, you absolutely would.
Like, you know.
No, it's okay to say your opinion as long as you're like not a dick about it. To be fair, that's how I see it. Oh my god, Flash! Flash! Flash!
Oh,
In mine and my team's chats once, and that wasn't expected at all, so you never know. Square showed up. Jesus Christ.
If Square showed up in my chat, I would berate them. It would be
No,
so
you
funny.
wouldn't.
I would.
I would be
absolutely
scared.
If the Square Enix brand account showed up, like,
That would be so
that's happened before,
wild.
like, to people.
I mean, I think the fact that
That'd be
Darby
so
just
funny.
vibed in your streams, like I think that
and then
to
I called
me
the game
is
shit.
enough.
I was there like, fuck's sake, I don't fucking like this. And then Darby just goes, yeah, I thought you might not like that.
That's probably
So
like, that
funny.
is such a sick flex though, because Darby did write the best stuff. Like,
worst of
besides, well, I think that's probably from a place of they didn't allow him to do what he would have really wanted.
Yeah, let's pretend that's why.
No, I think it's true though. He wrote Herb Sims in the City. That man can do no wrong.
Yeah.
We have to remain on their good side because we make mods for Final Fantasy VII. Oh, we need to avoid a C&D. What's a C&D? A cease and desist.
Cease and desist. Do you know what?
Oh,
do you know
that's
what-
so cool, Tsuna.
Darby.
What kind of mods have you
Do
made?
you know what Darby would say about
What?
about Schrodinger's cat? He would say they're both canon.
What?
That's a stupid joke.
Flash's Ghost James. And
Schrodinger's
you can even think
Eivor.
of. Oh, but mainly voice mods.
They're
No
both
way.
canon.
No way. I think it would be
Oh,
interesting to play through 7 with all the mods, but I thought for my first time I just played it through like completely as is. But that's sick. That's really, really cool. How tough is it to make mods like that? Does it take a
It's easy.
lot of time?
It's easy.
Okay, obviously I am just interested. You don't need to be a bully.
It takes 5 seconds, honestly.
He is joking.
It takes 5 seconds to make a mod.
Yeah, I bet anyone could do it. I bet I could do it right now. I'm just gonna make like the
Yeah,
best
you
mod
could.
ever.
You're just
Easy. Shut the fuck up, you
Darby
dick.
twisted it was clever actually, so I'll +2 that one. Thank you, man.
Ah.
That bit needs to die. No, I really like the bit.
The only experience I have
the
with
bit-
mods is Skyrim.
The bit could
Like-
die,
like adding,
but it could
like,
also
adding mods. I've never
stay
made a mod and I
alive.
never
So
could.
like, it's Schrodinger's bit at the end of the day. Isn't
You
it?
need to stop that. That's not funny.
It is.
That sounded like the usual Reno for whatever
Um.
reason. Rude heard Reno leaving his stall. What's he up to? He soon had his answer. Reno suddenly kicked in the door of Rude's stall. Rude blocked the flying door just in time and kicked it back.
What the hell? Just one last present for my partner. A bathroom door. A thrill. Your favorite. I've had better thrills eating breakfast.
Rude retorted, stepping out of the busted stall.
Enough messing around. How about we go outside? I bet it's insane out there. I'm sure it is.
The two Turks stepped out of the Shinra building's main entrance and into
My-
a howling tempest.
My rude voice sounds like evil.
Not that anyone will care.
I bet it is.
Writhing tendrils of light were streaming out of the ground into the air, right in front of their eyes.
Holy shit! The live stream's everywhere, man. Reno. Yeah? This is awesome.
More like holy exclamation mark
This is
star
really shit.
percentage at.
The bit
Don't
could
enable
die,
him.
or we could watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. True. I mean, no one knows. No one knows for sure if I've seen it. So it's Schrodinger's Ant-Man.
Coding is
Wasp.
easy. Creative ability to do it is hard. Getting enough people to act
Quantumania.
it, let alone well, is hard. Oh, I can imagine. That is
Coding
tough.
makes me want to slit my throat.
Yeah, did you learn to code when you went
Yes,
to college?
I fucking hated it. Hated every fucking second of it.
But I think my brother's learning to code, but he likes all that stuff that
Yeah,
he's
I'm
learning.
sure if you like it, you could probably take to it, but
Yeah.
I don't. I don't at all.
I'm a CS major. Wait, Flash, what does that mean? You're learning to do tech stuff?
He's
That's
a
really
fucking
cool.
loser, is what it means.
Shut up.
I had
I would love to have gone to uni for something like that, to be honest.
had like a bunch of
It's too
classes
late for
I
me.
did at college, and only one of them I liked, which was video editing. Oh no, I like motion graphics.
You
too.
did editing?
I had video. I had
God
video,
damn it!
I had.
I did a leaving cert. I did Irish.
I did.
How is
I
it
had-
fair
had-
that you
I
get
had-
to do good stuff?
I had video, art, motion graphics.
I actually would have done well in your course.
Coding,
I think I would have done really well in that.
And there was one other lesson I had. I don't remember what it was.
I wish I'd grown up in the UK.
There was something else that I did as well. And,
Ireland sucks ass. You either leave school at 16 and get an apprenticeship, or you do your leave insert where you do 8 subjects that are all irrelevant to what you really want to do. And then you can go pursue something you might like. What age? You did sixth form until you were what, 17 or
yeah,
18?
17.
And then you went to college instead at 17.
I didn't get kicked out, but I did get forcefully asked if I would like to do something
Forceful.
else.
They said, James,
Yes.
leave.
Well, Mr. Kirby got me in a room and he said, is this really the course you think you want to be doing? And I was like,
no.
yeah. And then he was like, no, I don't think that it is. And I was like, okay. And then he asked me if there's anything in college I wanted to do, so I was like, alright, I'll have a look. And then that night, me and Mum went to college, the local college, and went to go look at the games design course, and then I enrolled the next day and never went back to school.
That's really funny. And you and Luke dropped out on the same day without
Yeah,
talking to each other about
It's
it.
also funny because the day I started college was a Thursday, and that's the day when
This music's so dramatic for this.
That's the day. That's the day. On Thursdays, the only lesson I had was art. So
yeah, I used to
the
just not
first-
go.
So the first lesson, yeah, at the end, by the
love
end of
that.
it, I just didn't go ever. But I
I did your art
Do you know-
project for you.
do you know
actually,
I still
remember?
sometimes I still have like fucking dreams where I'm like I haven't been to college in ages. Like I've skipped a bunch of
Yeah.
classes, and
Yeah.
I'm like I'm gonna not get any grades for any of this stuff. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I think
Because
I think
did-
it's such a monumental part of everyone's life
Because
is the school part.
I think it's because
so-
I left a lot of my coursework, especially art, right till the last second
yeah,
to do it.
and then you had me
And
up
I think I have like dreams now. Like I have dreams where I'm just like,
panicking
where
about it.
no, not panicking. I'm just like, oh shit, I'm not gonna get a grade.
Yeah, like do you ever have those twinges of realizing that you've homework due, but then you also
No.
instantly realize? Yeah, I haven't had that in a while, but I definitely did like in the last couple of years where I'd be like that sinking feeling of, oh fuck, I haven't done my homework
Yeah,
yet.
but you only came out of education very recently.
It's
relatively
5 years
speaking.
ago.
2019.
Yeah,
Wait,
2018.
2018.
Yeah, it's 5 years ago,
Oh yeah.
give or take a little bit to be fair, but
I mean, it was 7 years ago.
yeah, for you it was a bit longer. So,
Yeah.
but
I
it is
remember
crazy when I think
I remember
about
when I
it.
first finished college, like being out of education was like, fuck, I don't have to do anything anymore. Like I don't
Yeah.
have any. Like I'm only responsible for my own.
Such a
things.
good feeling.
Like I don't have no one's
Yeah.
telling me, oh, you have this due this day, or you have to do
Yeah.
this then. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm just my own. I set my own deadlines.
Work is
It's
easier
great.
too. Like work is way less stressful than school ever was. Even though there are certain things I liked about school, like I don't miss doing it, but I do miss, like in a way I kind of miss writing like essays and stuff.
But you
So I
can
used to really like
you
that.
can do that. You can just do that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't though. That's the thing is I don't miss
I
it in the
do.
sense that you literally do. I don't miss it in the sense that I want to do it. Like nothing's stopping me. I just kind of miss that I was really good at it and I got rewarded by getting good grades at
You
it.
can literally do it. Good grades aren't worth shit.
Would they feel good to get? It feels good to
No, it
get a
doesn't.
H1. It does.
No, it never made me feel anything to get good grades. It
Yeah,
doesn't
because
mean
you're
shit.
a bitch.
It doesn't mean
Bitch ass
anything.
loser.
It means nothing. It's never mattered. I don't remember what fucking grades I got
I do.
because it doesn't matter.
I did the worst in art, which is really funny.
I got I think I got like a B in English lit, and then I got an A star
That's
in
good.
Spanish.
That's really good. Yeah, that's
And
amazing.
then I don't know. The rest were like I think I got like a C in maths. I got a D in geography. I got a C in IT probably. I don't really know. It was a merit I think. And then I
Yeah.
got a pass in PE.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only reward is just like the pat on the back of knowing that you did good in relation to the school system.
The
I
school
don't.
system's bullshit.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. But
Honestly, it's an L to fucking get good
I-
grades because it means you're fucking buying into all that shit.
I don't know. I don't know. I just.
Actually, I got good grades, so now.
Yeah, it doesn't mean a lot unless you need to go to college or university, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. I think school. I for the most part though. I don't think school is good. But the UK do it a
School's
lot worse. The UK do it a lot worse because I would have been set up for probably a whole different career if I'd gone to school in the UK because I would have gone to college and I would have done a course like what you did. I would have done something artistic or something that I could actually use, and then at least I would have done a 2-year college
Yeah.
course. But instead, I did a leaving cert where I did math, English, Irish, German, art, home economics, like all things that have nothing to do with my current job and will not help me to ever get a better job.
Like I don't know.
So-
I obviously learned some useful things, but most of the stuff I do now I taught myself. Like
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like sure, like when I was at college, I learned motion graphics, and yeah, that was helpful. And
I would have
At
loved.
college,
Oh, I'm
I also-
so jealous.
I did I'd have to do analysis of television, but not from like a literary standpoint, from like an editing standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, how is it edited together? How's it shot? How's it color graded? Those sorts of things. Like how's music used? Those sorts of things. And then in A level, I did in English literature. That was dissecting, like not text. You know what I mean? Like storytelling techniques and
Yeah.
things. As well, and then also I did media at A level as well, which was all the same but for media. So it was like the dissecting of like all aspects of media. But I don't think I actually really use any of that now.
No, you probably don't.
I just
I was-
didn't, I didn't
yeah.
do it for 5 years, and then I decided to get into it again and re-taught myself everything. I don't think I remember anything that I actually did at school or college, on those subjects, I think I just retaught myself everything that and way more because it was such a basic level when I was 17.
I suck at C hashtag C# maybe. I don't know.
C hashtag hashtag
Hashtag. What else do you call that?
It's a hash.
Hashtag.
It's only called hashtag because on
Yeah, of course. Sorry, that was dumb. I don't know. To me, that reads as C# because I'm pretty. I got it. It is C#. Pat on the back for me. I also did music in school, and that I learned how to read music, and that's the most valuable thing. I don't use it now, but it was actually something interesting at the time. Spend 10+ years in school, go to college, become a content creator. Worth it? James, to be fair, when James says college, like he does mean like the more sort of.
I'm in English college, so in the UK we have college and uni and they're separate things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So when I say college, normally I mean university because we don't do college in Ireland. We do just university
I
or
went
secondary
to college.
school.
I did a 2-year course on game design.
Yeah, so you kind of
I
had to do it. So it's not the same as committing to like a 6-year
I
degree.
didn't go to university, but I had a lot of UCAS points by the time I finished because I did AS levels and then I did a college course. So
Oh, really?
I had a lot of UCAS points, so I could have gone to
that's
university, like a decent university if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I absolutely did not want to do that.
Yeah, what matters is how you use your knowledge and that you make the people around you proud. Oh, that's sweet. I like
True.
that. That's really sweet. Yeah.
Make yourself proud more.
Yeah,
importantly.
make yourself proud as well.
Fuck the people around you.
The entire school is
Not
arbitrary
literally.
bullshit that doesn't help you with anything in life. I mean, I think it is bad, but also I do think there are benefits to school, such as like the social point of like learning how to be a human, and I think like things like assignments and like having to manage your workload and having to manage your time. Those are skills you learn kind of through going to school. You learn a lot from that, but I do think the subjects that we had in Ireland at least were not very good.
Think how many people when they go to school they don't do their homework on time. They're late for
Yeah.
lessons. But then when they get into the actual real world,
they figure it out.
Figure
Yeah.
it out because it's fucking easy and you
Yeah.
don't need to learn it. You just need motivation to do those things.
Well, there is that, but also I don't know if you grew up your whole life and you just didn't go to school and then you suddenly had to go to work, you'd probably find that hard.
You think people that are homeschooled aren't able to be on time for things?
People that are homeschooled are homeschooled though they're still going to school.
There's
like
also plenty, but it's not the same thing. And also
but the idea is it should be similar.
Plenty of people that were like learned those things in school are terrible at it now. Like look at fucking George. He is literally an hour late every single time when he horse you fox.
That's not the same though. That's not his job.
What? But it's still a responsibility. Like if you agree,
I
that's
guess.
ridiculous. If you say to a mate, "I'll meet you here at this time," and then you don't show up for an hour,
Yeah.
your excuse
Yeah,
should
I
be,
guess.
"It's not my job." Fuck
No,
off.
I'm no, but you're acting like I'm
Be on
saying.
time.
I'm saying. I guess it's preparing you for the world. I do think they should teach more practical things, though. They definitely do not. I did the 6th form in England for 2 years, an IT course, and it was for 6-year-olds. Basic ass ECDL that everyone would already know.
I also did. Yeah, I did IT sixth form as well. It was
Very basic.
computer science, but it was like 1 year was like spent making a website, but we used Adobe Dreamweaver. Is that what it's called? And it was so fucking like it was mind-numbingly, boringly easy. I also got a U somehow.
Literally, content creation
I don't know how
person
it
got a U in
happened.
IT.
It was weird. I still don't know how I got ungraded on it. I had 2 folders that were like this thick
Yeah,
full of
that's
stuff.
mad. I don't get that.
I still don't understand. I do not understand
Yeah,
how I
that's-
didn't get a
that's
grade
mad.
for that. Like even an F. Like, come on, man. There was enough there, at least. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I guess also school gives you the opportunity to feel out what you might like and dislike. Not really, but kind of. Like
Well,
for
it
me,
allowed
I
to
used
realize
to.
I disliked everything.
Yeah, it helped me realize that I liked writing, and I don't know, I liked math as well. But I kind of regret not doing because you can do accounting for your leaving cert, and I wish I'd done that. Because right now, I kind of would like to be an accountant, which sounds
Then
like
just
so
do it.
boring because
Just
you
do it.
can't.
Just
You
do
have
it.
to get I can't remember what it's called, but you have to get a thing, and you have to go to college for it.
Just do it.
I can't.
Tricky.
How do I just do it?
Just do it.
I can't.
Just do it.
James, I can't.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
The Scorpion Sentinel? He's
washing.
power washing a Scorpion Sentinel?
Yeah, he's power washing.
You moved to Ireland, Sina. How do you like it there? Did you grow up in the UK?
Terrible place. I
It's
honestly
not
forgot
great
Dreamweaver
in some
existed
ways.
until I just said it then.
I love when you remember things. It's great.
I love when you remember things. I love when you remember things. Sorry.
I'm gonna slap you.
Past 6 months have just been me realising I don't give a fuck about uni, but I'm also too far in to change to something else. Not really that far, but it's up there in just third year, but still.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I would say though, if you're not happy with it, you're probably better off sorting it now, because I'm at a point where I didn't want to go to university at the time, and I moved here, I got a job, and now I work full time. Like, I never went to university, and I'm at a point where I realized, like, I don't really know what I want to do in my current career, because I can't really move far. And I kind of wish that, and I've now kind of decided that I kind of wish I had done something in tech, or done something in accounting, or I don't know, something that I could actually progress in. Whereas right now, because I don't have qualifications, I only have experience, and my experience isn't really like anything spectacular that I can apply to any job.
George probably has a better job than you right now.
True. No, definitely not.
Definitely does.
Definitely not. No, I don't think so. But
he does though, because he can definitely move up and do more things with that company.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I could in theory move
to.
into management, but I don't know. I couldn't move into what I actually want to do, which is like something tech related. Because I don't have literally a single technical qualification.
I don't think you really want to do anything, because you don't like working.
No, I don't like working, but I think...
Even for yourself, you just hate it.
I think that I just want to do something that I don't have to speak to people, because I did the customer service thing, and I do not need that.
I imagine you would go to uni for like fucking 7 years, get a degree, get a job, and then be like, wow, I fucking hate this. And then you just realise, oh shit, yeah, actually I don't like doing any jobs. Jobs are bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't enjoy doing any job other than what you do. So I just find it like if I could do content creation full time, and like every video I made got hundreds of thousands of views, and every stream I did had hundreds or thousands of viewers, like, yeah, that will probably be something that I would be relatively happy with. Like, I could imagine that's the happiest job I could have, but no, it doesn't. I know it doesn't. It doesn't. But I have to work and do this at the same time, and this is going to take many years to grow. But definitely you can't do that either.
Do they not let you?
Oh no, they might. Nah, no,
Talk to a doctor and get a note that says,
I'm
depressed.
And it would be true too. But anyway, I want to make sure that whatever I do, where I'm at, right? Sorry, actually, to bring it back around, is what I want is just to make the most money I can. Because if I can't do something that makes me like super happy, then I want to do something that at least makes me the money to do things that make me happy. And like relatively, if I was like at a really good paying job, I would probably go like 4 or 3 days a week, and then I would just have more time. Like, I would rather be paid a lot more and then take less time, and then it would balance. You experience in Final Fantasy VII, so true. Square Enix, hire me. I will play the game multiple times and give you feedback on your 23-year-old game.
23-year-old game.
It's 23 years old.
26.
26-year-old game.
It's the same age as me, you idiot.
You're not 26.
I am this year.
Yeah. At this point, I think I should just finish uni for the sake of it, because it'll be a shame, but I also think I don't care enough, and it might be best to just try and go into some other uni that I care about, even if I end up losing 3 to 4 years of my life. That's what I was saying, Tazos, is like, this is from the outside point of view, but I think that if you go through and finish your course and you know you're not happy right now, you're not going to be happy when you finish your course. You're not going to be happy if you then have to get a job relating to that. And then at one point in your life, you will finally decide to go back to uni. You may as well do it all now while you're still young. You've still got the, you know, you live at home, or...
Tazos could be every bit of
Tazos is 100% like 20 or 21. 100%. I'm sure you said that before.
21.
So I think while you are, you know, living in a situation where you can be supported by others and you don't have to work full time, it's probably the best time for you to continue getting education. That would be my opinion. Because one day, if you complete this and go into work and you have to work something you know you don't like already, one day you will finally decide for your happiness to go back and do something you do like. And that will just make it way harder to go back and do, in my opinion. Just coming from the person who's like realizing now what I kind of wish I had done. When the price of living didn't suck, I managed to become a full-time content creator while on the social. Wow, that's awesome. Then came off the social when it hit the danger zone.
What does that mean?
I'm presuming just content creation and social media stuff, and then that like I'm just presuming that's what they mean by social. But
I don't even understand.
how do you not understand? They're just saying that
Why did
while
you
the cost
come
of
off?
living
Why
wasn't
did it
bad,
hit the danger zone?
because the cost of living went up
He
so
didn't say
much.
that. Wait.
They said then came off the social when it hit the danger
Sorry, I just
zone.
assumed you're a he. You might not be a he.
So when I don't know.
Social welfare, I mean.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
okay,
go.
fair
Told you-
enough.
Told you it
yeah.
wasn't that straightforward over.
Okay, well, I guess I just
I told
assumed
you there
wrong,
was
I'm
something to
sorry.
be understood.
There's always something to be understood, and I'm the one who does not understand it. This is the last year of the degree. Maybe see out you go for the semester and you want to leave at the end of it, then do so because you don't want to be wasting your time for another 6 months. You could, yeah. You if you only have like a year left, I guess you may as well finish it out, and then you have that to fall back on if you don't like anything else. It's my goal. If I could work 20 to 30 hours a week and do what I want with the rest, yeah, that's my goal, is to work like 3 or 4 days a week, one day. Well, my ultimate goal is just to earn as much money as I possibly can. Like my secondary goal would be to grow content creation, and then my yeah, well, I would be happy enough even just to work a few days a week and then also have content creation to supplement my subsidize my normal income.
Supplement is the fine word.
I think subsidize.
No, subsidise would mean, I don't know. That sounds official to me.
Yeah, but that okay. Well, sorry for using an official word.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I'm doing an impression of Tetsuya Nomura in Flash's basement.
Yeah, we better continue reading the book.
I thought we could stop. This chapter's so boring.
It's fine.
It's
Shut
not.
up.
It's not fine.
Yeah, I guess.
Look at this.
I guess.
Look at that. Look how much we have left. All this bollocks.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it would be. It would be
Like-
nice just not to have to work full time because it's too. It's not enjoyable. Anyway. All right, this is you. I think we're on this, aren't we? Saying Rita, rude Elena. More chat and fun. No more book.
Get rid of the book. Get rid of the book. Get rid of the book. Get rid of the book.
Well, you don't
get
give
rid
this
of
to
the
you
book,
now.
get rid of
Maybe
the
you
book.
should just drop it. Something that you will enjoy. Yeah, it's. I definitely think do something else in education if there is something in education you can do. Go on. Go on. Come on. Come on. We're not that far away. We're like 30 pages away. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's another hour. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Song, Reno, Rude, Elena.
The morning after the live stream tore through Midgard, Rufus addressed the 4 of them.
What are your plans? I don't remember getting a pink slip.
Said Reno. The other 3 nodded clearly on the same page. I read that wrong. So Rufus gave the Turks 2 orders. Go back to Midgard to evaluate the situation and gather allies.
Keep in mind, not everyone affiliated with the company is going to be friendly now.
He told them.
Got it. But what do we need allies for? Information for now. As much as we can get.
With multiple...
Why is it me, or is that... The letters are closer together on that sentence alone. It is, isn't it? Information for now. As much as we can get. Just that bit. The letters are all closer together.
Yeah, they do look a little bit closer
Weird.
together. Although, not like much though. Do you know what? I read, because I always look at jobs, because I'm always just like, oh, I wonder if I can get another job. I read job advertisements, and a lot of the time they'll be like, you need attention to detail skills. And within that same advert, they'll have misspelt something or put like a word wrong or something. And I'm like,
Probably why they do it.
I would literally like, I'm very good at not picking up
Email them
things
and
like
she
that.
said, well, actually,
Yeah,
that
and then you get,
you
and then they're like,
misspelt your
wow,
name."
you're so good, you caught that. Here's the job. Oh, I just read the book.
Look, people are a lot dumber than you give them credit for, or they're dumber
Yeah.
than
Yeah, people are dumb. 100%.
people are dumb. So that actually probably would impress them.
Maybe. But it wouldn't
Like-
impress them enough to give you a job. I think it would really make you stand out,
That's
though.
probably why they do it.
I think that sometimes too,
And
but...
then you just don't. You don't.
No, because
mention it.
then they're like, you need
Hang
a
on.
qualification. I'm like, well, I
Just so
don't
you know,
fucking have one!
I'm qualified in reading your fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Anyway, attention to detail skills, like anyone can say they have them. It's really not hard.
God, I would do anything for a natural disaster to strike me right now. I just want to fucking read this shit.
Okay, where were we?
The chosen day.
With multiple broken ribs and a fractured foot, not to mention serious bruising, Rufus was for the time being confined to a wheelchair. His air of cool authority, however, was unchanged.
Son. Sir? I thought you might be ready to retire. Not at all, sir. There is much to be done that only Shimmer can accomplish. I have a song somewhere.
Tsang replied evenly. Rufus looked pleased.
Well, nothing else. You won't be bored.
After a short break for sleep and food, the Turks headed back into Midgard and split into two groups. Song and Elena set out to gather intelligence, while Reno and Rude searched for allies. Other Turk comrades who had been here yesterday were already gone, scattered across the planet and working to relay intelligence to Khan from places far beyond Midgard.
Avalanche used to say that Shimra was the enemy of the planet.
Reno recalled.
Uh-huh. Guess they were kind of right. How so?
Said Rude.
I mean, look.
Reno gestured vaguely at the whole city. The live stream had saved the planet from Meteor, but in the process it had wrought terrible damage on Midgar. In many ways, the city had been like a castle town of olden times, one that had sprung up to serve the ruling lords in the towering fortress that was the Shinra building. If the city wasn't entirely flattened, it looked beyond repair. It was not quite a death sentence, but at the same time, it was hard to imagine it returning to life. As people came to understand that the company had failed to save them from the disaster, they would turn against Shinra. They would need someone to blame, and the company's name was right there, emblazoned on everything. Reno and Rude made it to Sector 0, but not to the Shinra building. The damage was especially bad here. What actually blocked their way, however, were the crowds of people clamoring for information and aid.
Oh, that's rich.
Reno spit, catching some conversations. People were calling Shinra the root of all evil, and in the next breach declaring that the company had to fix everything.
I'm starting to get the urge to knock heads together. Go for it.
Said Rude.
I won't stop you. Nah, gotta think about the company image, right?
Oh my god, Reno is such a good company man. Song and Elena headed below the plate to Wall Market. Yeah! Sector 6 slums, an area the Turks had always found to be a rich source of intel, though not all of it the best quality. Debris falling from the structure above had caused heavy damage throughout the neighborhood, but the place didn't look all that different for it. This was the slums after all. The biggest difference was in the population, which had shrunk dramatically. Rumors were spreading that the entire city of Midgar was on the verge of collapse, and the timid, not so timid alike, were fleeing the looming shadow of the plate. Really struggling to read today. As they explored, Song and Elena were also hearing people express less than stellar reviews of Shinra. Some even threw rocks from a safe distance when they recognized the distinctive suits of the Turks.
This is going to make it hard to do our job.
Said Elena.
Maybe we should change it to something less conspicuous.
They picked up new outfits at the first store they found. Song ended up in a loud floral shirt of the type that vacationers always wore back from Costa del Sol, while Elena slipped into something sleek and trendy. Suitably disguised, they hit a bar that still had a decent size clientele. Most of the tables were full, but they found seats in a corner and took in their surroundings. A lone man in a black shirt, occupying a table meant for four, caught Song's attention.
It looks like he's passed out,
said Elena.
I wonder. Song? Yes? The reason I stayed with the Turks is, apart from pride and duty, because that's all really important and everything, but actually, the main reason, personally, is,
Elena's feelings for her commander had never exactly been a secret, but that didn't make it any easier to tell him, out loud in so many words. She paused, tongue-tied.
Good. Keep yapping.
The fuck? Carry on. Song urged.
Huh? We're trying to blend in. It doesn't look natural if we sit here in stone silence. Drivel like that is perfect. Just keep moving your mouth. Sure, right, drivel.
She sighed sadly, but he wasn't looking at her. He was still staring at the unconscious man.
Something's wrong.
Song got up and went to the man with his face on the table.
Are you all right?
There was no answer. Song grabbed the man's shoulders, meaning to give him a shake, but his hand met something gooey. Yeah, he jerked away, found some kind of viscous black stuff on his palm. He looked more carefully. He hadn't noticed before because of the black shirt, but the man's torso was soaking in dark slime.
What's the matter with him?
Elena asked, coming over to see.
He's dead.
Reno and Rude had finally reached the main lobby of the Shinra building. Reno was writing a message on a large notice board and then stood there. Anyone who wants to get off the plate, take the train tracks down to the slums. The trains aren't running. There are no plans to restore service. You'll have to walk. There are no supplies here. Shinra Electric Power Company operations are indefinitely suspended. The two-story house in Calm had a living and dining room in the first floor, useful for meetings, as well as a small kitchen and a bath unit. The second floor had 3 bedrooms, and Rufus had settled in one of them. With his foot in a cast and his torso bound and braces to protect his ribs, he still needed a wheelchair to get around most of the time. The window afforded a view of the town. Through a small gap between the drawn curtains, he could see the streets packed with people. The livestream had caused damage in Calm too, but buildings were intact and the homes still habitable, and refugees streaming in from Midgar were stopping here in search of shelter. Rufus was surprised by their sheer numbers. As far back as he could remember, he had never been around such a mass of people without security or an escort of some kind. Only a single wall separated him from all the fear and desperation outside. And that stark reality did his nerves no favours. It wasn't even a sturdy reinforced wall like those of the Shinra building, just thin wood and plaster. A strong man could punch his way through. Song had offered to sign a security detail and he had refused. Now he smiled wryly at his pointless pride. He considered his situation. The Shinra building was a fortress built by his old man. That made it, more or less, a symbol of his father. For a son to become his own man, he had to venture out from under his father's roof and make his own way. Survive by his own hand. It was how things were. Now that day had come for him. He did not need to cower from the public. He was ready to leap into the fray and do what he was meant to do, which, he believed, was to rebuild the world. The doorbell rang. A few moments passed before it rang a second time. Rufus ignored it, but it kept ringing, twice more, 3 times. This wasn't the sequence they had discussed. The caller wasn't anyone he knew. Then he heard the sound of someone trying to kick open the door. Perhaps it was just a desperate refugee. Rufus wheeled himself to the bed and took the pistol from under his pillow. He hid the gun in the folds of his hospital gown, turned the chair by the window and toward the bedroom door, and then laboriously moved himself into it from the wheelchair. Rufus had reinforced the front door, and whoever was trying to break it down appeared to give up. Then Rufus heard the sound of a breaking window, followed by footsteps inside the house. More than one person.
Not what I needed today.
He flicked off the safety. In the twilight, Elena and Song were headed back to Calm, discussing the sickness they'd seen in the slums. When they talked to the locals, they learned that a good number of others were showing the same symptoms as the dead man in the bar.
What happened while I was out of commission?
Said Song.
I've not seen it before either. Whatever it is, it appeared vast.
Said Elena.
Yep.
Song wondered if the sickness or poison, or whatever it was, had only started ravaging Midgar today. Otherwise, they surely would have known about it already. Was it too much of a coincidence that the livestream had erupted the day before the illness appeared? Had the livestream affected people as well as wrecking the city?
I just hope this doesn't spark a full-blown panic.
He remarked.
I think it's too late.
Elena was talking about the scene they'd witnessed when the other patrons noticed that someone had died there in the bar. First, they crowded closer with morbid curiosity, and then they broke out in a panic, scrambling for the exit when someone shouted that it could be contagious. Reno and Rude made it back to Calm first. They would have liked to take a chopper or at least a car, but no one knew how much longer the fuel would last. For now, at least, it was being strictly rationed.
Let's try Sector 5 tomorrow.
Said Rude.
Company housing? I doubt we'll find anything new, unless you think Shinra people are still hunkered down there. I'm talking about the warehouses. We could get supplies, vehicles, ammo, heavy weapons. Weapons? Good point. I've got a feeling we'll be needing plenty of them.
Thinking of Midgar's miserable survivors and the resentment that must be simmering in them, Reno heaved a sigh. The men stood surrounding Rufus.
Looks like you've been knocked around pretty badly, Mr. President.
A bearded man who carried himself like the leader jabbed a shotgun at Rufus.
Indeed I have, though I'm more worried now than I was then. There's nothing quite as dangerous as men with grievances and fool bleeding them.
He stared straight into the man's bloodshot eyes. He expected they would force him to hear a litany of complaints before killing him. Even if he could take down 1 or 2 of them with the gun concealed in his sleeve, he could hear a small mob downstairs in addition to the 3 here in the bedroom. They'd overpowered him eventually.
Call me a fool if you want, but we all know who's got to answer for what happened. Oh, and tell me this: what are you going to do after you walk out of here? Have you thought about what's coming? What are you talking about? There are 2 kinds of people: those who command and those who obey, said Rufus. It's not a question of innate qualities or earned merit. Often enough, when things go wrong, the people in command are punished for it. Then the people left behind have no one to follow. Chaos naturally ensues. And instead of things improving, everything gets even worse. If you're trying to convince me to spare your life, it ain't working,
said the man with a sneer.
You seem to be in command of this mob that broke in here. So what's your endgame? What kind of future can you promise them? Screw the future. It's enough for us to make it to the end of the day. Tomorrow can sort itself out. Do you all think that way? Or is it just you?
Rufus noticed the 2 other men starting to glance between him and their leader.
So what? You think we should be doing something different?
One of them asked. Rufus looked him over. Mid-30s, fit, dressed in an expensive-looking navy jacket, albeit torn and covered in dust.
Of course.
He replied.
First of all, someone needs to find a place for the refugees. Calm can't possibly accommodate all of the people fleeing Midgar. I'm guessing you're from this town. That's right. Do you want to turn it into another Midgar?
Rufus could see the man working out what would happen if all the refugees ended up staying where they were.
We're not gonna turn people away.
The man with the shotgun was done being ignored.
Fine. What about when the weather turns bad? What are those people down in the streets going to do? Yes, this is a time of crisis. It's right to offer hospitality. But you have to think long term. How many people live in Midgar? There's no room here for them all. Are you prepared to deal with their need to be fed, to be clothed, to be housed? Can you tell them it's good enough to make it to the end of the day? Shut up! You talk too much!
The leader was shouting now, acting just as Rufus calculated. He knew his type. A sergeant, good at leading a small platoon, but not a larger group of people. Never an army.
Alright, you made your point. So what's your plan, Mr. Shinra? The man in the navy jacket said.
The man in the navy jacket said, his voice carried well.
This one might be the true leader among the bunch.
Rufus thought.
If I told you, you'd have much less reason to keep me alive.
When they got back into town, Reno and Rude found a very different scene from the one they left in the morning.
This is a lot of people.
Even on the street that took them home, it was more of the same. In fact, it was immediately apparent that strangers had paid a visit to said home.
Boss!
They dashed up to the house, the door standing open, but when they looked in, they saw that the entranceway was blocked by men and women huddled on the floor, some of them stretched out and unconscious.
They're sick,
said Reno. They could see a dark fluid staining clothes and bandages. Sorry. It was the same affliction they'd seen in Midgar. It appeared that the house had been turned into a makeshift hospital.
Rude, you check down there.
Reno picked his way among the sick people, trying not to step to anyone, and sprinted up the stairs. A similar sight greeted him at the top. Worried now, he went through the rooms looking for Rufus, but found no sign of him. He went back down to Rude.
I don't see him.
Rude reported.
Me neither. We should get out of here, pronto. I don't want to catch whatever these people have got.
One of the patients glared at him angrily, and Reno returned the stare with what he hoped was a winning grin. It wasn't like he meant to be mean or anything. Rude shoved him outside, and there they ran into Song and Elena, who were just arriving.
Son, the house has been taken over.
Reno briefly apprised their commander of the situation.
Our priority is to find the president.
Song said.
He might have been kidnapped. Someone here must know what happened. I'll ask inside. Don't want you guys scaring everyone into silence.
I feel like we should be playing the Turks music. I'll play that instead. I'm sick of this.
Yeah, right. Turks them. Ding ding ding. Okay. Still got so much to go.
I'll read back on chat when we're done reading. We should probably just power through a little bit at this point.
To fucking kill myself with 30 pages to go still somehow.
No, we don't.
25.
Yeah.
No, 30.
No.
28.
Oh.
Plus this one.
Fuck. One of the patients glared at him angrily. Rude shoved him outside, and there they ran into Song and Elena, who were just arriving.
What?
Oh, fuck. Our priority is to find the president, Song said.
No. This has already happened.
Where are
It's
we?
Elena headed for the house.
Sorry. Elena headed for the house,
Elena, they're sick.
said Reno.
Be careful in there. If it's contagious, it's too late now to be worrying about it. Well, she's right about that.
Reno realized. The four of them might have all gotten it already.
Now you two.
Song gave a single order to Reno and Rude.
Go into the town and find witnesses.
The pair nodded silently and set off in separate directions. After some time, the three Turks reported back to Song, their faces drawn and weary. They had found no witnesses. People were angry with Shinra, and they weren't shy about letting them know it.
Not surprising. These people have got their hands full dealing with their own problems.
Song said quietly, watching a man being carried down the street, too ill or badly hurt to walk.
And besides,
But he trailed off, leaving the thought unsaid.
there's no dialogue for a while. You just keep reading.
There might well be witnesses, he thought, just none willing to talk to the Turks. Rufus estimated that about 2 weeks had passed since he'd been taken from the house in calm. They had grabbed his gun, then held to his face a handkerchief reeking of some kind of drug. He'd fallen unconscious and woken in another house, where he had no idea. One of the men had let it slip. It was a villa belonging to the man in the navy jacket. Mouton, he called himself, though Rufus had doubts as to whether that was his real name. Rufus guessed he was being kept in the basement. He could hear people walking around above him. If they were refugees, then he might still be in Calm, rather than somewhere more remote. On the other hand, they could just be more members of Mouton's gang. With no conclusions to be reached on his own, he had little choice but to wait things out in this prison until the Turks found him. And a strange prison it is, thought Rufus. The decor was nearly entirely crimson, luxurious but hinting at unsavory tastes that, thanks to the furnishings carved with disturbing images of human monster chimeras. There were fetters around his ankles. They were attached by a heavy chain to a sturdy iron hook on the wall. The idea that someone, perhaps Mouton, had clearly set this up as a prison beforehand gave Rufus an unpleasant chill. With his injuries, he didn't exactly need to be chained up in the first place. The excessive measures did not bode well. Apart from denying him his freedom, however, Mouton was otherwise treating Rufus well. A middle-aged woman, probably a housekeeper, saw to his meals and his comfort as best she could. Rufus tried to ask her questions, but she refused to speak to him. She had probably been ordered not to. A doctor who looked to be in his 50s came to see him once. After a perfunctory checkup, he left Rufus with some medicine. If he knew the patient chained up in this strange basement room was a president of the Shinra Company, he gave no indication of it. Rufus thought of shouting for help to the people upstairs as they came and went, but he feared that might only make things worse for him. Once every few days, Mouton had made an appearance, asking Rufus about his plans to develop an area near Midgar. Rufus had intended to flesh out the plan after the Turks had brought in more information, but of course his present situation made that impossible. Lacking the data he needed, Rufus could only sketch out the bare bones of his idea. First, establish a new town adjacent to Midgar. The east side, where the terrain was flattest, would be the best location, and make construction easier. Materials could be salvaged from the wreckage in Midgar. The company had cutting torches and welding supplies, as well as small construction equipment in the Sector 5 storehouses. He only revealed the plan in small pieces. He feared that once Mouton had everything he needed from him, he would be killed. He felt like the storyteller in the fairy tale who would be killed unless she came up with a new tale, night after night, to entertain the king. Rufus laughed wryly at the thought.
Why don't you just tell me everything? I'm not going to kill you. Why don't you undo my chains? I'm not going to run away.
It seemed they would never reach a point of mutual trust. The Turks had found tantalizing leads, scraps of information, but nothing that turned into anything concrete when they looked into it. They were no closer to finding their missing president than when they had started. Song was not about to give up the search, however. They left the house and calmed to the squatting refugees and set up base in a company house in Sector 5. At Elena's suggestion, they deliberately disseminated the rumor that Midgar was on the verge of collapse. Many of those who still remained in Midgar believed it and left. But while that part might be disinformation, the city was in fact barely habitable. It had become a wretched place strewn with rubble and rife with disease, and before much longer it would be completely deserted. The Turks preferred that it would happen sooner rather than later. There were too many company secrets hidden here, and they especially wanted to keep the Shinra arsenal from falling into the hands of the public.
So, this is bad.
It was Reno who brought the news.
Some military forces that were based in Junon have come up here and taken over the HQ. About 100 troops, they reckon. The guy in command is one Lieutenant, something Gate. What do they want?
Said Song.
Dunno, but it looks like they're gearing up for something.
Song and Elena went to check out the situation at the Shinra building, while Reno and Rude set out to collect ammo and weapons. The company houses were densely packed into one corner of Sector 5, while the storehouses were located in the restricted area near the Mako reactor. High fences ran around the perimeter, and there was only one point of access, a secure gate that was impossible to open without an access code. In an emergency, the code automatically switched to one that was known only to those with certain high-level clearance. Still reciting over in their heads the code that Seng had given them, Reno and Rude arrived at the gate, to find it standing wide open.
Nick thought Flash had been fighting the Scorpion Sentinel for the last hour and a half. Not washing it on the Power Washer Simulator.
To be fair, that's understandable why you would assume fighting and not power washing.
Yeah. Oh god, if I just burst into flames right now, it would be too soon. Oh, I want this to end. I just want this to fucking end.
There is something mad happening in America. I don't know if it's Ohio, if that's what you meant, Ryan, but isn't there that thing where...
Ohio.
Well, you just said it's mad that this is happening in Ohio right now, and I'm like, is that a serious thing,
still
or
don't
is
know
that
what
just
that
a
is.
joke? Is that the meme? Is that the meme, maybe? I don't know. But there is something crazy happening in America. Have you heard about it?
There's always something crazy happening.
No, but it's like very crazy. That's like being underreported. Where there was an accident and a bunch of toxic stuff got into the water supply.
Yeah, I did see that.
And then like people's like drinking water is like all cloudy and oily.
That
and
happened
shit.
here once.
Did it? When?
Maybe not exactly that. I don't know. I wasn't here.
I wasn't here.
I was.
I wasn't here.
No. I mean, I was alive. I just wasn't here.
Oh, you
I was on
literally went.
holiday.
Okay, I think you meant you hadn't been born.
Everyone
yet.
was off school for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
'Cause
serious.
you couldn't drink any of the water. You had to like boil it and stuff. Before
Wow,
so
that's
it's like
interesting.
people get like this fucking disease that like killed you.
Yeah. Well, people are saying that like
I think it
animals.
was-
Yeah, people are saying like animals in America are dying from drinking the water and
Yeah,
stuff.
it was like what happened here was like it was like a I don't know, like a raccoon or something died in the reservoir.
Really? And that's all it was?
Yeah.
What's happening in America is way more serious. It's like actual chemicals, like a huge amount. There's a crash, like a train crash, I think, that was carrying toxic shit.
Oh yeah, I did.
And then
yeah,
it's got into like the supply of like all the water supply
It's
and
a
shit.
Radaway
The Ace Chemicals reactor leaked. What?
from Batman. Oracle.
I will
get me
never.
into the
How
Ace
like
Chemicals
how am I
video.
ever meant to get most of the jokes people tell? Because I just don't know what you're talking about. It's not fair. I wish I knew everything.
Radaway is from Fallout, yes.
What is that? Radaway.
I just said it. I said everyone needs
did
some
you?
Radaway.
Oh yeah.
I said that.
Because if you
yeah,
walk
10
in the
seconds
water,
ago.
it's all radioactive in Fallout 3 anyway. I assume
Yeah.
it's the same in all
Can't
of
drink
them.
the water. Can't walk in radioactive areas. Got to put the Radaway on.
The Radaway. Yeah, if you get too much radiate. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, that's great. Yeah, that's mad stuff that's happening. Is I've only seen like TikTokers talk about it. I haven't seen it in the
TikTokers.
news,
Hey guys, I'm a TikToker.
which is so
Imagine
weird.
calling yourself a TikToker and not wanting to hang yourself every
Well,
single
I think
morning.
I actually think it's worse to call yourself an influencer.
Hi guys,
that
I'm
actually-
a TikToker.
I think even influencers themselves hate that word. But like actually, like how disgusting is it to proudly call yourself an influencer?
It just means I influence people's thoughts.
But it's weird though, isn't it though? Like
Some-
I
some-
influence people. I don't know.
some-
It just sounds.
Some might say Al Mualim was an influencer. It's times. Garnier Dina Plus was an influencer.
Oh god. There's also a plan to pour oil into Alaska, which if it goes through will kill tons of wildlife.
What?
What?
It's not Alaska.
What? What? Why do they want to pour oil into the what is it called? It's a state. The state of Alaska. Why do they want to do that? Where specifically? Or they literally just go like, here's Alaska, pour oil and let like a tsunami of oil.
Good one, Nick. Good one, Nick.
So
Got
said
ya.
they're a TikTok. I'd ask
got-
why their
you got
face
'em.
doesn't have 12 numbers on it.
You bloody got on there, didn't you?
Yeah, you did. Like that one.
Abul Nakud was the greatest influencer of the Middle East. Oh,
Wait,
he was an influencer.
Wait, what's
too.
the downside to consuming a clock? To eating a clock. Shit, I've already spoiled it. What's the downside to eating a clock?
Time consuming.
Because that's the pun that Joel tells Ellie at the start of part 2 of The Last of Us game. It's called the Willow Project. Doesn't sound very nice, but Willow makes it sound so nice. The Willow Project. Oh, it's a good project, guys. It's called the Willow Project. But actually, it's gonna kill things. Awesome reference, Ella. Thank you. Where are we?
Right here. We're on livestream White 3. God, that just flew by, didn't it?
It
That
really
last chapter.
did, yeah.
I can't quite remember how it ended. but-
Yeah.
Oh, we're really gonna. It's so boring. It's so fucking boring.
This is boring. The
Oh,
company
God.
houses were densely packed into high fences surrounding around the perimeter, and there was only one point of access. To secure the gate that was impossible to open without an access code. In an emergency, the code automatically switched to one that was known only to those with certain high-level clearance. Still reciting over in their heads the code that Song was had given them, Reno and Rude arrived at the gate to find it standing wide open. Okay, that's where we were.
those military guys have been here? Could be.
Alert now, they went in and moved towards Building 8, where most of the munitions were stored. Excuse me. Halfway there, though, they noticed that the service entrance to Building 4 was standing open. Straying in the shadows, Reno and Rude crept inside,
Huh? Civilians.
said Reno. Bands of young women and men, even children, were moving around inside the building.
23 pages we got left.
Building 4.
Building 4. Building 4. Building 4 is construction equipment.
Building 4 is
Building
construction.
Said Rude. Indeed, they could see that the civilians were pulling small and medium-sized machinery off the shelves. Even the children were pitching in, carrying tools and drills and the like.
What's going on?
Muttered Reno. And just then he heard cheers from outside, in front of the next door building. People must have managed to open that door too.
Shit, Building 5. That would be the fuel reserves.
What, like Mako?
No, fossil fuels. Gas and diesel mostly. Shimrush stored it there for emergencies. We're gonna need it too.
Ugh, one thing after another.
Reno didn't want trouble, and he certainly didn't want to start a firefight with civs.
Those were the wrong way around. I did those voices the wrong way around this one.
It's fine. He tries to keep from sounding too threatening as he approached the people outside Building 5. So, hey. Come on.
Well,
So, hey, we're with the
So
Shimmer
hey,
Company.
we're with the Shimmer Company. Is anyone here in charge?
I am.
A good-looking woman stepped forward. She was young. Still a girl, really, but she was hot.
So you're in charge of all this?
Reno blinked in surprise.
So, what are you people up to?
Said Rude, his voice much lower than Reno's. An uneasy look crossed the girl's face.
We're just taking some equipment. We needed to build a new place for
On whose authority?
Officer Carlgate with the military.
Did this Kylegate give you access codes too?
Yes, is there a problem? We were given permission to be here. We heard that the Shimmer military was going to start reconstruction operations independent of the company. They asked for volunteers, so we stepped up.
She glanced nervously from one to the other of them. Reno and Rude exchanged a look. Maybe the military had some hidden agenda, but if they did, this girl and the other civilians clearly weren't in on it.
If that's really what you're doing, then we've got no problem.
Reno said after getting a small nod from Rude.
But do us a favor.
But do us a favor. Don't take any more than you need from the fuel reserves. Live frugally.
Added Rude.
Sure, no prob.
She added, relieved, as she turned back to her work. Reno and Rude watched as the volunteers gathered what they needed. Industrious and upbeat, they thanked the two Turks as they passed. The last person to leave drove a truck piled high with portable generators. He waved to them as he drove out the gates.
Maybe Midgar has a future after all, huh?
Said Reno.
I'd like to believe that. Come on, we've got work to do.
Weapons and ammo, right?
Yeah, plus vehicles and fuel. And then we're changing all access codes. The gate, the buildings, all of them. I finally finished, but it's okay.
As they worked late into the night, Song and Elena came to check on them. Even with their help, the job took until morning. They were grateful to get back to the company housing and catch some shut-eye, but they were awoken a few hours later when Verdot barged in unannounced right before noon.
Yikes!
Wait, who said that?
Yikes! I'll be less freaked out if my dad woke me up.
Reno remarked.
And he's dead!
I find it more disturbing that the Turks, of all people, are sleeping during a major crisis.
I meant, it's good to see you.
Verdot had no response for Reno's sincere grin, so instead he launched into a rundown of what he'd learned about Lieutenant Kylegate of the Junon forces.
He was on leave in Calm, but he gathered all those soldiers he could find and told them they were under his command. This morning, he held a rally to the east of Midgar and gave a speech about establishing a new city there. They had machinery, looked like to be company property. Verdot, sir?
Said Song, uncertain how to address the man who was technically no longer his commander.
That is all consistent with the intelligence we have, but I need to know something. In what capacity are you working when you give us this information? Why, I'm telling you in other words. Why am I telling you in other words?
Verdot narrowed his eyes.
Let's just say I'm repaying a debt. We appreciate the assistance.
We appreciate the assistance, but I'm not sure you owe us anything. Sheesh, why does it matter? Oh, fuck. I fucking
Reno
forgot.
broke in.
Why does he need some deep reason to help us with intel? You know? You are allowed to just accept things without questioning them.
I don't trust gifts.
Said Song flatly. Verdot turned to him.
Reno, for me, the Turks are...
Then he trailed off and swallowed the rest of the sentence. An awkward silence descended on the room. Finally, Reno bowed his head like a contrite child and resumed the discussion.
So, we saw volunteers carrying construction equipment from the storehouses last night.
He was trying to sound especially businesslike, as if ashamed of his outburst.
Something doesn't make sense. The lieutenant wouldn't have the clearance for those codes.
Said Rude.
Right.
Said Verdot. Clearly, he'd already noted this.
The lieutenant was spreading
Spreading his legs.
The lieutenant was spending his leave in Calm, and he had emergency access codes that had Jesus.
But he had no business
That he
knowing.
had no business knowing. Who gave them to him? Where's the president when he disappeared? Turks, you have yourselves a lead.
They jumped to their feet at once, trying to hide his excitement, Song asked.
What else can you tell us about this Lieutenant Cargate?
Verdot shared everything he knew. Calgate was born to an affluent family. He had already lost both parents and inherited everything. There was no need for someone of his means to enlist in military service, but he did, citing lofty goals such as destroying Shinra's enemies and establishing world peace. As a soldier, he was capable enough, but his superiors had expressed doubts on more than one occasion regarding his character.
Brutal, sadistic tendencies. Known for going too far in training and in the field. Talking the barracks had it that the real reason he joined the military was so that he could have a legal outlet for his more unsavory appetites. Sounds like a real piece of work. Assuming he had the president, do you have anywhere...
Any idea where he could be holding him, said Song. My best guess would be calm at the Calgate Villa. Even as Verdot was finishing the sentence, Rude, Elena, Reno, and Elena and Reno they were dashing from the room. Then Reno turned back.
I would simply quit.
Push through!
This is 20 pages of the Turks just getting fucking Rufus out of a basement!
I'll give you some popcorn after.
You need to give me something, because I can't do this anymore.
What do you want?
Chat, give me something to do. Give me something to go on. I don't know what to do. I can't. 20 pages,
I
20
will
fucking pages,
reward
man.
you with a snack after.
What?
I meant a literal snack, like an actual snack. Stop.
Yeah, true, because you're not a snack. You're ugly. I just want to die, man.
That's fair enough.
What do you expect from us? I don't know.
Love and
A prime. Drop a fucking prime.
I just wanted to go back on the chat, I guess.
Someone drop a prime right now and I will feel the same as I do, but like... I can't believe I still have 20 pages left. 20 fucking pages left. 20! That's a lot.
I sympathize with the experience thing for job applications. I think generally the job adverts are like a wish list, and a lot of the time you can get away with not having some of the stuff on there.
James, what
However,
you don't understand is that Rufus Shimmer is actually super vitally integral to the story of Final Fantasy VII. You just don't get it.
However, in some companies, like if you're applying to like a proper company, like my company, they will not hire you. They will not hire anyone if they don't meet the benchmark. So like it's not, sometimes some companies will just pick the best person if they're desperate, but if it's something that they're like willing to wait for the right person to come along for, then it's harder. Because I interviewed for something and then I didn't get it and I found out no one did.
Apply for the job at Shimmer. They clearly accept anybody.
I'm gonna work at Shinra. I'm gonna nap in that nap room constantly.
Apply for a job at the Shimra Electric Power Company.
Alright, come
We
on, you
pay
can
you
do this.
In Mako. We
Then
inject it into
Reno
your
turned
veins.
back. Where are the rest of the Turks? Did it feel better if we had more firepower?
I feel
Scattered all over, on assignment mostly. But
Scattered
also,
all over, on assignment mostly, but also, well, let's face it, lots of people have their own worries now and more to think about than their old jobs. I'm sure they came to Midgar out of duty as I did. When Meteor was threatening us, it's not in my power to command them anymore. That's probably the die, wasn't it?
Reno was clearly unhappy with this answer. They're still Turks.
Damn it.
But he left without saying anything.
What are you going to do, sir?
Sung paused to ask.
Return to Junon. Reeve is headed there. That is concerning. Agreed. If it were only Reeve's intention, I couldn't discern that would be one thing. But there are others muddying the picture. You can trust the Turks. All of us who came that night. You taught us well, sir, and we live by your lessons. Huh, maybe that's why I can't guess what the lot of you are thinking.
Verdot stepped past Song, exiting the room first.
Find the president.
He said. Song watched him leave.
I was hoping you would send us off, sir, like the old days.
Rufus was helpless to defend himself as Mutant Calgate calmly punched him 3 times. Hard.
I can't tell you what I don't know. Give me the new access codes. Someone else must have changed them. I only knew the emergency codes. How could I?
Mutant didn't wait for him to finish before hitting him again. He threw a mean punch. Combat trained.
Military man, are you? You've seen me plenty of times. but I guess us rank and filers are invisible to you. I'm sorry.
Rufus meant it, but at the same time he was turning Mooton's words over in his head. If this was a second home and it did in fact belong to Mooton, it meant he had money, serious money, judging by the decor. It would be normal for a man of means to rise up the ranks quickly, and given his age, he should have gotten high enough by now for Rufus to have had dealings with him. Money wasn't supposed to speed up promotions, of course, but it did. The fact that Mooton wasn't at least a major meant something else had held him back. Like, for example, his character, on which this weird room casts some serious doubt, Rufus thought.
You must have had underlings with you.
Mooton unexpectedly changed the subject. Underlings. That class's word said a good deal about the man's worldview.
So where are they?
Good question. You grabbed me when my subordinates were away. I don't know where they are now. Where they are. And obviously they don't know where I am.
I see.
Mooton seemed to accept that, but he drew back a fist to hit Rufus anyway. He was stopped only by a knock at the door,
What is it?
Someone's here to see you, sir.
replied the housekeeper.
To see me? Who the hell? Never mind. Tell them I'm coming.
That is one tough housekeeper. As he left, Mooton turned back to
There's
Rufus.
someone here to see you, sir.
Said the housekeeper.
That was like a security guard.
No, it's a housekeeper. It's a woman. They said it was a woman.
Construction of the new city began this morning. My underlings were there in force.
Wait, is this...
I think this is Mooton.
Yeah, it is.
We have volunteers too. I'm told the crowds were massive. Hearing that was like music to my ears. Really, I can't wait, Mr. Shimra. This city will be the new capital of the planet, and I'll be the one who controls it. It's a pity you won't be around to see it.
The city would eventually be called Edge, and ironically, it would be Mooton who would never see it. Soon after he left the
spoilers,
room,
alright.
the sound of shouting came from upstairs. Rufus recognized the voice, then there were gunshots and the housekeeper screamed. A few moments later...
Ah! There's someone here to see you, sir!
A few moments later, he heard the crackle of fire and smelled smoke. There were shouts and the sound of people running in panic. Rufus tried to stand up from the chair he'd been placed in, but he moved too quickly and fell down hard. His ribs sent sharp jabbing pains through his body. Gritting his teeth against the pain, he scanned the room. Upstairs, it sounded like the fire was quickly becoming an inferno.
Rufus, where are you?
Rufus Shinra! That was the same man who had held the shotgun on him in calm. Rufus was certain. Internal strife? A coup within the gang. Whatever was happening, he guessed this wasn't a rescue party looking for him. So what to do? Under the bed. He could hide there. He started to crawl. The pain from his broken bones and the recent beating made his head spin, but he bit his lip and stifled a cry. Eventually he made it to the bed, but now what? They were bound to notice the chain running from the hook on the wall to his fetters under the bed. Rufus turned over on his back to look at the bed's underside. There were metal hooks there, which held several barbed whips. He tried not to think what they were for, or who they had been used on. He took one and tightened his fingers around the leather wrap handle.
Shinra!
The man broke down the door with a tremendous crash. Rufus could see only his boots as he came close to the bed. The man stood next to the chain and kicked it to test the tension.
So there you are. Closer. Come closer.
Just as Rufus expected, the man was moving toward the bed. Now he was kneeling down.
That's right. Down here. Take a peek.
What appeared from above the bed, though, was not a face, but a gleaming muzzle of a gun. Rufus instantly grabbed the barrel and twisted it upward toward the underside of the bed.
What the hell?
The gun fired, the recoil wrenching his hand. He released the barrel and rolled out from under the bed. The adrenaline had kicked in now, and the pain in his ribs was a distant scream he could ignore. Channeling his momentum, he slapped his cast-encased foot hard into a spot below the man's kneecap.
Ugh.
The man groaned, staggering back. Rufus pulled himself upright and cracked the whip at him. It snagged the man's gun arm. He screamed and dropped the weapon. Once again, luck was on Rufus's side. The gun fell within his reach. He stopped to pick it up and quickly trained the muzzle on his opponent.
Game's over. Don't move.
Smoke was beginning to drift into the room.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me? Go ahead, Mr. President. Give it your best shot. But you'd best ask yourself how you're gonna get out of here with those chains attaching you to the wall. And do it quick, because this place is burning fast.
The man was right. Rufus needed help to get the chains off. He had to keep talking, tried to persuade the man.
Did you kill Mutant? Damn right I did. We grew up together and he always treated me like shit. Seems to me like you had it coming. What you making like your... What? You're making like your pal now? Shit, I haven't forgotten how you made me look bad in front of the guys. So that's come back to bite me, huh?
Rufus thought. It was starting to look like a mission impossible.
I was so damn close.
he thought. Suddenly there was another gunshot and the man slumped on the floor dead. As Rufus glanced down at the gun in his hand, wondering if he'd fired it by accident, more company arrived.
Boss, you're here!
The front yard of the Calgate villa was thronged with Midgar refugees. The fire had started in the kitchen, and by the time the 4 Turks arrived, the villa was a burned-out husk with smoke still curling up from the debris in the centre.
Excuse me?
They picked among the haggard refugees, giving Rufus's description and asking if they'd seen him. Eventually, they found a couple of witnesses willing to answer their questions.
They're saying a man, maybe in his 50s... Excuse me. They're saying a man, maybe in his 50s, came out of the burning house carrying another man dressed in a white suit and a neck brace and a cast on his foot.
Elena reported with a frown.
That's got to be him.
Said Song.
Who the hell was that other guy?
Reno asked.
Time for more legwork.
Said Rude.
Chief, about that.
Reno squinted in distaste.
Having to be polite and everything is really slowing us down. Any chance we could use some extra persuasion, Turk style? I mean, everyone's already hates Shimmer anyway. Permission granted. But don't get rough with the construction volunteers. Why not them specifically? I have a feeling this whole project to build a new city came from the president himself.
In the basement of Wooten's burning mansion, a man who looked to be in his 50s pointed a gun at Rufus.
Mr. Rufus Shinra, how are you today?
He was a doctor who had checked his wounds previously.
I've been better. You ought to put down the gun then, before you get hurt even worse.
Rufus didn't much like the idea of giving up his weapon when the doctor was waving his own in his face.
You're right, Doctor. Guns are dangerous. Why don't we both put them down?
The doctor smirked and adjusted his aim, right at Rufus's forehead. His trigger finger tensed. Rufus didn't hesitate. He aimed for the doctor's chest and pulled the trigger. There was only an empty click.
You estimate the former owner of that gun, Mr. Shinra. He was Mutan's henchman, and always had to do his boss's dirty work. He never got any of the rewards for himself. He rather hated that. So when he finally got the chance to gun Mutant down, he nearly emptied the cartridge. I heard him fire the last shot down here. Or was that you?
Looking at the dead man on the floor, Rufus sighed. Not the
type to think ahead, were you? My name is Killmister. In my younger days, I worked for the Shimmer Company. I'd like to claim I was the assistant to Dr. Hojo, but honestly, I barely saw the man. I was a lowly technician.
One of Hojo's staff members, Rufus had a bad feeling about this.
Now, will you please put down the gun?
There was nothing for it but to toss the gun on Killmister's feet. Killmister took a small glass vial from his pocket and held it out.
I'd like you to take a whiff of this. It'll knock you out for a little while. If you refuse, I'll have to shoot you. Not to kill, because I want your cooperation, but it will hurt more than the chloroform.
Rufus took the proffered vial and removed the stopper. He remembered the smell. It was the same stuff Mutant had used to knock him out in the house in Calm. He woke in the cargo bed of a truck with 9 other people, 4 men and 5 women, all in their early 20s, all listlessly hugging their knees. At first, Rufus thought they were covered in mud or oil, but when he looked closer, he could see the black stains on their bodies were not dirt. The same dark, sticky fluid seeped out from under their hair. Some of them moaned intermittently. All of them looked to be in pain. A young woman beside him toppled against him as the truck hit a bump.
Sorry. It's all right. You're not sick. You're not sick, are you?
Her voice was hoarse with pain, or perhaps exhaustion.
If you catch it, I'm sorry.
He had broken bones from his mad slide from the top of the Shinra building. He had been chained up, beaten, and threatened with guns, and now he was going to contract some disease. Rufus could only smile dryly to himself. Whatever the illness was, he really didn't need any more troubles, but stuck as he was in the back of this truck, there wasn't much he could do about it. He could see Killmister at the wheel, and despite the poor condition of the roads, he drove at a reckless speed, making the truck bounce as it went. Rufus considered jumping out, but he remembered that Killmister wanted his cooperation. He could take that to mean wherever they were going, he would be kept alive, for a while at least. Flinging himself from a fast-moving vehicle in the middle of nowhere, however, when he was already too injured to move far, seemed foolhardy, if not downright suicidal. Imagine if your name was Killmister. Yeah, it's a bit...
No, it's Killmister here.
Killmister stopped the truck near the coast, in front of a cave entrance partly hidden by rocky outcroppings. Rufus had been unconscious for the first part of the ride, so just as when he'd been taken to Mutan's basement, he had little idea how far they had travelled. But it was the coast, so according to his mental map, that should put them at least 3 or 4 hours' drive from the villa. A couple of days by foot, probably, for someone without busted ribs and feet. Killmister herded him at gunpoint, which was hardly necessary. He didn't have the strength to mount resistance, and the others seemed happy to do with what the doctor told them. The woman who had apologized during the ride helped Rufus down from the truck. Without crutches, he had to lean on her all the way into the cave.
Well, here's hoping we both get better.
She said.
Yes, that would be ideal.
He thought. The interior of the cave did not inspire much optimism. After struggling down a ladder, they leaned against a 16-foot-high rock face. Rufus twisted his neck against the brace to look back up. If the ladder was removed, there would be no way to climb out, and predictably enough, once all the people had made it down, Killmister pulled away the ladder.
The tunnels branch out into other tunnels, but they all lead to dead ends. Each of you can find a dead end if you like. That will be your room. What about medical care? Are we getting any?
A man asked.
Just come back here when you're told. I'll look after you.
Killmister's tone was placid, as if he were doing the rounds in a hospital, and with that he was gone. It turned out the cave was outfitted with simple hospital cots, clean sheets and blankets, enough for everyone. The captives each picked a room and set up their beds there. Rufus took the farthest dead end, predictable of him, always distancing himself. Later, a young man whose symptoms looked less severe than the others came around with a basic meal of bread, cheese, and water.
Was anyone else forced to come here at gunpoint, or was it just me?
Rufus asked.
Not that I know of. We've been patients of Dr. Killminster since we were kids.
Said the young man.
He's the local doctor in Com, you know. So when he said he thought he knew how to cure us, well, we didn't hesitate. In fact, me and some other folk came here earlier to bring the stuff to the hospital. You call this a hospital? Sure. I know it's kind of a weird location, but we've got to be under quarantine. He said people would chase us off if we stayed in town.
He paused, looking for trouble for a moment.
He said he had to use a gun on you because you tried to run. It seems he does not trust all his patients equally.
Said Rufus.
Where are we anyway? Sorry, but Dr. Killmister said not to tell you. So from one unknown hole in the ground to another. This excursion isn't getting much better, is it?
Rufus thought. At least Killmister was willing to treat his wounds. The doctor had a rudimentary office set up near the bottom of the rock face by the entrance. Killmister changed Rufus's cast and brace, while the boy who handed out the food stood behind him, holding the gun.
Are you making any progress treating the disease, Doctor? Of course.
Rufus didn't miss the way Killmister's glance flicked towards the boy.
What are you trying to do here? I'm a doctor, young man. I want to rid the world of sickness. That's an admirable goal. But what do you need me for? Genova. What?
That was just about the last thing he expected. Rufus couldn't hide his surprise.
There are several similarities on the cellular level, that is, between the people infected by the disease and the soldier operatives I once worked on. Such as?
Rufus asked. Killmister glanced at the boy again.
All in due course.
He continued tending to Rufus in silence.
Can you at least tell me if it's contagious? I'll answer that soon, too. So it isn't.
Rufus thought. 3 months went by. Rufus no longer needed the brace, and Killmister had finally removed the cast from his foot and given Rufus a makeshift cane instead.
This is a metal pipe.
Said Rufus.
Yes, from the wreckage inside the Shimmer building. We must make do in times like these.
Killmister informed him.
How are things in Midgar? The pox is the major problem. It appears to be claiming more and more people, except technically no one's living in Midgar anymore. A new city is going up to the east. The people are building it for themselves for the most part.
Rufus thought of his grand vision that he'd partially shared with Mooten.
Is anyone in charge of the project? Apparently not. It appears to be a cooperative venture among several groups. By the by, Mr. Shimra, would you like to know what your company thugs are up to?
Rufus guessed he meant the Turks. He nodded.
It seems they've been threatening anyone who tries to access the company headquarters or the storehouse. Trespassers will be shot on sight, that sort of thing. It scared people enough that hardly anyone ventures up to Sector 5 or the Shimra building. Is that your doing, Song?
Rufus couldn't quite keep himself from smiling.
Now, at some point in the future, I'm going to need you to procure some equipment and materials that are currently in the company's possession. I'd appreciate if you could talk to your thugs when the time comes. What do you need?
Rufus made himself sound indifferent, although he was anything but.
Just some scientific equipment Dr. Hojo was using. Equipment you need to treat the disease, is that right?
Killmister smirked in a way that reminded Rufus of Hojo's unsettled smile.
Naturally. And I believe I mentioned this before, but Genova. Yes. Where is she now? I don't know. I might be able to find out if you let me go. But stuck down here?
Rufus shrugged. Killmister fixed him with an appraising look.
Well, I'm going to need a new facility anyway. This place isn't properly set up for experiments. Experiments? Are you a physician, Dr. Killmister, or a scientist? I think we're done for today.
Said Killmister, drawing a gun from inside his white lab coat. After that, Rufus had plenty of time to work on his rehabilitation. The ribs were the slowest to heal, but eventually he got to the point where he could move about freely inside the cave. He visited some of the other rooms. Several were unoccupied. The young man who had been bringing him his meals was one of the first to go. Rufus now counted 3 men and 2 women. 4 of the patients had already died. The woman who had helped him from the truck was still alive, but in terrible agony. She was confined to her bed, and when Rufus came to her room, a man was with her, fretfully trying to offer comfort. He looked up when Rufus came in.
The doctor said he's low on medicine.
and he had to cut back on the dosage. I gave her my dose, but I think it's already worn off.
Rufus didn't see that there was anything he could do, but he had to try. He went to the foot of the rock face and called for Killmaster. At length, Killmaster appeared in his lab coat and looked down morosely.
We're short on medicine here. One of the women, my original stockpile, is running low, and I haven't had any deliveries since you arrived. The rationing cannot be helped. My stockpile?
Since when? Since when had he been collecting this medicine? Since before the pox appeared? If so, why?
Wait there.
Killmaster said. He left and reappeared with the ladder.
Can you climb up?
As he grasped the ladder, Rufus immediately began to consider the possibility of escape. He took each rung cautiously, but before he could climb onto the ledge above, Killmaster pointed the gun at him.
That's as far as you go. Stay there and listen to me.
Up close, Rufus could see beads of sweat on Killmaster's ashen face.
You don't look too hot, Doctor. I need medicine. For the patients? For me.
Killmaster explained that he had been giving the patients a diluted form of a stimulant supplied to the Shinra military forces.
It can't do anything for the disease, but it does help with the pain. Is that your idea of a cure? I'm not misleading them. I have to find the cause. Until I do, I can only treat the symptoms. Including your own? You have the disease? No. Stimulants enable me to work through the night. And they make addicts of those who abuse them.
Rufus said flatly, but even as he said it, he realized with a mild sense of triumph that he had discovered a means to control Killmaster.
Do you have a phone? Or at least a pen and paper? You want to send a message? Yes. To my thugs, as you call them. The Turks will know where to find more of the drug.
Rufus did not fail to notice the craving that flashed in Killmaster's eyes. But the doctor quickly hid it and coolly ordered Rufus to climb back down. Still, only a few minutes passed before he tossed down a pen and some paper. Rufus wrote out a request to procure the stimulant and nothing more. His job was to gain Killmaster's trust. The Turks would handle the rest. Killmaster left for Midgar that day. He told Rufus he would go to the Shinra building, find the Turks, and give them the note. That should have taken 3 days tops, but he didn't return on the 3rd day, or the 4th, or the 5th. The Turks didn't come either. Rufus had assumed they would trail Killmaster to the cave and effect a rescue. Instead, a week passed with no visitors. Their supply of food was dwindling. Rufus wandered the cave. He knew every nook and cranny by now, in an attempt to make the long empty hours pass more quickly. The woman who was confined to bed was growing weaker. She barely seemed lucid. The man looking after her still sat with her, but he also let out a muffled groan as he clenched her hand tight and waited for a miracle.
Killminster will be back soon.
Rufus told them, an entirely baseless statement, practically a lie. After the words were out, he wondered what could have prompted him to say it. The disaster came suddenly. For some time they heard the heavy rain outside, muffled as the sound was, but no one suspected that the cave might flood. The water came in, not from the direction of the entrance, but from the dead end that Rufus had claimed as his room. The ceiling was full of holes, which suddenly turned into so many faucets. This couldn't be the first time it had rained since the day they came here. Why was this happening now? Perhaps it was a particularly heavy rainfall, and a natural reservoir somewhere was overflowing. Whatever the cause, the water level was rising quickly, and they had to find a way out. He headed for the rock face at the entrance, shouting at warnings down the pathways leading to the other dead ends. His injured neck still protested as he peered up the sheer wall, but of course he could see no one. The only sound was a distant pummeling of the rain. Rufus scanned the area. If the water poured in from the back of the cave filled this area, eventually they would be buoyed up to the top of the wall, assuming everyone could manage to stay afloat for that long.
What choice do we have?
He ran back and informed the others that they needed to prepare to evacuate, but after a week without the stimulant that served as an analgesic, they were in too much pain to reply.
5 people.
He muttered, then committed himself to a course of action. He went to the farthest occupied room first and carried its occupant toward the entrance. The man had lost enough weight to be distressingly light, but that meant even in his own weakened state, Rufus was able to move him. Then he went back for the rest. The water was already rising past his ankles. He looked for items that might help them to stay above the water. A few of the wooden bed frames were beginning to float. They were cheaply made, held together by removable metal fittings, so he dismantled one and pushed the pieces toward the entrance. The water bore them away down the passage.
If you can swim, swim,
said Rufus.
If you can't, grab hold of these, one for each person.
In a few hours the water was up to his chin. Some of the others were already bobbing in the water, clinging to the piece of wood. Rufus had done what he could, and now there was nothing for it but to gaze up at the ledge above them and wait. Finally, he too had to grab a piece of wood to stay above water. Time passed and the water level continued to rise. The patients floated closer and closer to the ledge until it was almost within arm's reach, but then the water stopped rising. Either the rain had subsided or an outflow had been reached somewhere else in the cave system. Rufus pursed his lips in frustration. They had nowhere to go. Their only help was rescue from outside. They took stock and did a head count, and they found only 2 men and 1 woman remained. The woman was the same one who had helped him from the truck all those weeks ago. The man who cared for her had bundled 2 pieces of wood together so she could lie down. Just as Rufus wondered if she was still alive, her face twisted with a spasm of pain. Somehow, seeing that was a relief. Hours crawled by and nothing changed. The water level stayed the same. Submerged in the chilly waters, they were losing body heat. It occurred to Rufus that they wouldn't last much longer.
What?
He thought someone had spoken to him, but no one had the strength to speak. He peered around himself groggily. Something was creeping along the surface of the water, something black. It slowly floated toward him. He thought it must be the viscous fluid that seeped from the diseased victims.
No, that can't be right.
It was moving like something with a will of its own. Fear took hold of Rufus. He splashed uselessly at the water, trying to push away the encroaching black shadow, but the waves they made had no effect on it. He looked on in horror as the stuff closed in around him and soaked his white suit with inky stains. Not that the suit was really white by this point. He had insisted on wearing it each day in case a chance to escape presented itself. Escape, ha. Now as he watched the cuffs turn black, for the first time since he had been kidnapped, he thought,
I'm going to die.
The black stuff seemed to crawl up his neck and onto his face. He was trying to get into his mouth. He kept his lips clamped shut so it went for his nostrils, and he pinched his nose. That left him with no way to breathe, but suffocating would be a better way to go. Still, it didn't stop. It was in his ears.
As long as I don't scream.
He thought as everything went work.
Mr. Shinra! Mr. Shinra!
Rufus opened his eyes.
Damn, this flood. I did not anticipate this. Sorry for the delay. Sorry, that was Killmister. I didn't realize.
Killmister was plunging the ladder down into the water. Somewhat surprised to find himself alive, Rufus reached out and took hold of a rung. As for the others, he saw the woman from the truck and the man who'd nursed her clinging to the piece of wood. The others were gone.
Are you two alright?
The man lifted his head.
Help's finally arrived.
Rufus added. The man stared at Rufus in a daze, then remembered what was happening and frantically called to the woman. She responded with a faint movement of her head. Rufus stretched his hand out to her, and then there was a gunshot from above. The woman drifted back from the wooden float as if shoved and silently sank beneath the water.
Pamela!
The man cried. He let go of the float to dive after her, but he was too weak to swim. Rufus took the float and moved toward him, grabbing his arm.
Pamela!
He was shouting in anguish, but he had no more strength. Pulling him along, Rufus swam back to the ladder. Climb.
Bud, just concentrate on staying alive.
The man stared at the dark, empty water that had swallowed up Pamela. Rufus realized he had only just now learned her name. Finally, the man looked up to glare at Killmister in seething rage.
There was nothing we could have done for her. It was an act of mercy. Pamela would thank me if she could. It's not Pamela's forgiveness you ought to worry about.
Rufus thought. Hatred was setting into the man's face as he began to climb the ladder.
What's your name?
Rufus asked.
Judd. Listen, Judd. Don't do anything yet. I'll handle Killmister.
Judd made no reply and kept climbing. Rufus followed after him. Just as he was about to reach the top, solid ground at long last, an excruciating pain seized his entire body. He felt something drip from the corner of his mouth. He wiped his face to find the dark slime on his hand, just like Pamela and Judd.
Well, Mr. President. It looks like you'll be needing some of the drug yourself.
Killmister sounded inordinately pleased.
Irk!
That yelp came from the doctor. The gun fell from his hand and into the water. Gritting his teeth against the pain, Rufus looked up to see Killmister's face contorted in a struggle. Someone had him in a chokehold from behind.
Damn it, Judd, I said not now.
But then he realized Judd was sitting on the ledge, head bowed and groaning. Fighting to keep his grip on the ladder as relief washed over him, he summoned all his remaining strength for a furious shout.
What in the blazes took you so long? Sorry, boss.
Back in its early days, before the company had grown to its full might, the Shinra Electric Power Company had built a mountain resort as an R&R facility for employees, but most people preferred the beach to the mountains. The resort soon fell into disuse. Indeed, there were several lodges that had sat untouched since they were built. The 7 of them, Rufus, Song, Elena, Reno, Rude, Killmister, and Judd, made the trip in two wheels.
Judd
This is
my
actually the
favourite
worst.
Final Fantasy VII character.
This is so long.
Why is it so long? Why are they telling us about fucking cabins or whatever the fuck this shit? Why?
When they arrived at the resort, it was already full of diseased victims. The majority were Killmister's patients, brought from Kham by the Turks. As Rufus cast a dubious look around him, Sang started to explain. A week ago, Killmister had appeared in the Shinra building, demanding to talk to the Turks. Reno and Rude, who were detailed to monitor the building, heard the man saying he had a letter from Rufus Shinra. At the prospect of obtaining information on their missing president, they promptly left their stakeout spot and approached him and asked for the letter.
Provide all made available. It's just the letter.
Provide all available stock of military issue stimulant to the doctor bearing this note. It seemed awfully random, not to mention suspicious, and they doubted it had really come from Rufus. They told Kilmister to come back the next day. Reno trailed him while Rude went straight to their makeshift office in Sector 5 to report to Song. Song thought it looked like Rufus's handwriting and signature, but he couldn't be certain. But it was the best lead they had had in a long time, so they decided to give Kilmister what he asked and then follow him. Meanwhile, Reno trailed Kilmister to come. The doctor had a small clinic there, but because he had not been there in some time, it had been taken over by refugees in need of shelter. The refugees were delighted at Kilmister's return, and they clamoured at him for treatment and medicine. When Reno peeked in the window, Kilmister appeared to be in a foul mood, as he reluctantly dealt with his patients. The doctor was no picture of health himself, in fact. The next day, in the main lobby of the Shinra building, the Turks handed over several cases of stimulant. Kilmister immediately ripped open one of them, twisted the cap from a bottle, diluted the contents with water, and chugged the concoction. Then, ignoring the nonplussed stares of the Turks, he stretched himself out on the floor and told them that he was going to rest right there until the drug took effect. The Turks fumed at the man's arrogance and gritted their teeth against their own patience, but he was their only lead to finding the president. If he said wait, then wait they must. Finally, his mood and complexion much improved. Kilmister lurched to his feet and ordered the Turks to carry the cases down to the surface. Clearly feeling in control, he asked whether Song might know of an appropriate location where he could house a large number of patients, somewhere remote but not too difficult to access. If
I'm to do my part for the world, I need proper facilities. This is such bullshit. None of this matters or ever comes up again. It's
said
so
Kilmister.
fucking random.
Perhaps sensing he was pushing too hard, he then talked about the president, describing his status in detail and accurately enumerating all the injuries Rufus had suffered. The Turks had to take him at his word.
I was the one who saved him from the fire at Mooton's house. I've been treating him ever since. He'd be dead without me. I hope that the company understands it is in my debt.
When they asked why he hadn't bothered to tell them anyone until now, he laughed and said he first needed the young president to see things his way. Song immediately thought of a mountain resort as a location for Kilmister's facility. After they took him to see it, the doctor gave it his seal of approval and demanded that those afflicted with the disease be brought there. The Turks balked at taking orders from this drug-addicted nobody, but he reminded them that until this facility was ready, he would not be inclined to tell them where the president was. They had no choice but to obey. The Turks lost track of how many trips they made between Calm and the resort, ferrying patients and equipment, but finally satisfied that the Turks had done his bidding, Kilmister said he would take them to their president. On the way, the flooded roads caused the Turks to lose sight of Kilmister's truck.
But I found the cave anyway with my secret agent's intuition,
declared Reno, hoping the fact would make up for losing the doctor in the first place and being late to reach the cave. Rufus stayed at the mountain resort too as one of the patients. They could only treat some of the symptoms, not the disease itself, but the diluted stimulant did help with the pain. The Turks attended to him in shifts, and if the fever was down and he felt well enough, they would brief him on the latest intelligence so that he might consider the next step.
In this new city, do they have a city center? Have they built anything there?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Why are we talking about this?
He asked Reno one day after something occurred to him.
The plaza, I guess. It's just an open circular area. Looks pretty much like the whole city grew around it, though. It's on the main road out of Midgar, too, so yeah, it's kind of the center of town, I'd say. Then we should put something there.
Rufus mused.
A monument. A monument to what? Officially? To the planet fighting off Meteor. Officially? So what would it be unofficially? A symbol of our ownership. A symbol of ownership. Our ownership. Claiming the center of town for Shinra? I like it.
People still blamed Shinra for the disaster, but the company was regaining a measure of trust by providing materials, equipment, fuel, and medicine. Reeve, the former director of urban planning... Did I?
Equipment, fuel, and medicine.
Did I not say fuel?
No.
Fuel, and... Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Fuel.
Reeve, the former director of urban planning, sent heavy machinery and manpower from Junon. By now it was clear that Reeve was no ally of the company, but as long as the Turks, and Verdo's group of former Turks, were acting for the common good, he did nothing to interfere with their operations. With the help of volunteers, Reno began construction of the monument. Those who wanted to see something meaningful in the plaza were glad to be a part of the project, although some balked loudly when they learned that Shinra was behind it. Reno diffused the potential crisis with typical Turk methods. The number of patients at the mountain resort changed continually, but for a while it truly felt like a refuge, free from the troubles of the outside world. Soon enough, however, a crisis arose. It began when Kilmister started protesting that the stimulant was being used too quickly and would soon run out. Elena, who spent a lot of time in the new city, had suggested they distribute the medicine to people there as well, and Rufus had approved. But inevitably, this drained their supplies much faster than planned, and now there were hardly any reserves left in the storehouses. Rufus ordered the Turks to find people with pharmaceutical expertise who could set up a manufacturing operation for the stimulant. They could use the company facilities, he suggested, and also contact Reeve for assistance if necessary. It was not enough for Kilmister. He demanded that their first priority was to secure enough of the existing reserves to keep the mountain resort supplied. Song and the others sneered, knowing the drug-addicted doctor's motives were entirely selfish, but Rufus himself was strangely willing to indulge the doctor. The stimulant's key ingredient was derived from the tail of the Nibi bear, because the ingredient would... Oh, it comes back round.
Pog!
Because
They
the...
referenced the
Oh, it's
good
worth it! It was
story!
worth it! Because the ingredient would be highly diluted, a single tail could provide enough to manufacture a large quantity of the drug. It fell to Elena to find a steady source of the raw material.
Hey, Rude.
Reno was frowning, which he didn't do often.
Why is the boss putting up with Kilmister's crap? I guess he's hoping the research into a cure will pan out eventually.
He shrugged.
What research? Any moron can hand out painkillers. I sure could.
Reno scoffed.
He's doing more than that. He took a tissue sample from me a while back. Said it was a control. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a breakthrough. He can take a sample of me too. I don't have it either. Come to think of it, it's kind of weird that we're surrounded by patients all the time and we never get it. What's the deal? The president said it's not contagious.
Reno still looked unconvinced. Rude crouched into a boxer's stance and punched Reno in the shoulder, half strength.
How about a sparring session? It's been a while since last time. What now? Yeah, get your body moving. Clear your mind. Maybe we don't get sick because we're in shape. Come on, you don't want to go soft, do you? Sheesh, you sound like my old boxing coach.
But Reno was smiling as he crouched into his own fighting stance.
Alright,
He thought,
let's do this.
the cabal,
Cabal,
the cabal.
right?
This was what the other patients at the mountain resort called Rufus and his tight-knit group of henchmen. Company solidarity was one thing, someone remarked, but this was on another level. Even though the old company was essentially no more, the president and his subordinates still organized themselves according to that now irrelevant hierarchy. It was natural to them, but to others they seemed like they were children playing Office. If it was a game, they played it with fervor and intensity indeed. They played like school kids lost in the make-believe, little kids who had only one another and no other place to call home. One night, nearly 2 years after the chosen day, Rufus went to see Kilmister.
So, Doctor, I think it's time you told us if your research is bearing any fruit. Have you made progress? What about the connection between the disease and Genova? You want to know about progress? Alright, fine. I'm no closer to a cure now than I was 2 years ago. No progress at all. Zip.
Hopped up as usual on the stimulant, Kilmister spoke excitedly, as if delivering the long-awaited punchline to a joke. Rufus watched him, his expression neutral.
However, I am starting to figure out the pathology behind it.
The first people to contract the disease were those directly exposed to the live stream. He had discovered this in early stages of his research through interviewing patients, Kilmister explained smugly.
The others, whose symptoms appeared later, had something else in common. They were suffering severe emotional distress. In almost all cases, they had lost a loved one or had a near-death experience of their own, and they had gone through a period of intense contemplation of death. I surmise you were no exception, Mrs. Shimra.
Rufus nodded. He remembered the cave, the water, the realization he was about to die.
In the aftermath of the disaster, many people were fearful about the future, feeling a sense of impending doom, so the disease quickly became a pandemic.
The doctor paused.
And then there's the black fluid.
Rufus recalled that stuff in the flooded cave, flowing with sentient purpose along the surface of the water.
Many of the patients who fell sick at a later time remember seeing black water. Those who noticed nothing out of the ordinary likely came into contact with it via contaminated water without their knowledge. It can spread anywhere at once, you see. What do you mean at once?
Rufus didn't like the implication in Kilmister's choice of words.
The pain, the fever. These are signs that the body is fighting off a contaminating substance. It does appear that the black liquid is our true opponent. But what is it exactly? Are you implying it has intent? I believe it's related to Sephiroth's, or Genova's genetic material, but not the material itself. Perhaps I should call it a remnant, a mimetic legacy.
As I said before... Oh, sorry.
No, that's you.
No, it isn't. It's still you.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. What the hell? As I said before, the characteristics are very similar to what we observe in the soldier program.
Rufus tensed at the name Sephiroth. He could remember an image of Sephiroth surfacing in his mind for no apparent reason when the black water surrounded him.
Mr. Shinra, I want to focus my research on Genova, but I need a sample. Where can I find the creature?
Said Kilmister, oblivious to Rufus's alarm.
I have no idea. Would you have your agent search for it? I'll consider it. You do that, but don't take too long.
Rufus nodded and turned to leave, but Kilmister was in a talkative mood,
Must have taken more than usual.
thought Rufus.
A long time ago, Dr. Hojo nixed a project I proposed. But the thought that it's not too late, that I could try it now. Oh, it's just thrilling. I could create something even more powerful than Sephiroth. I just know it. I thought this was about finding a cure.
Rufus said pointedly, without looking at him.
Oh, I doubt we'll ever help the patients already exhibiting symptoms. And if those still in good health can keep from brooding over the future and their own death, they'll be alright. You can publicize that, by the way. Issue a public health warning, but not the part about the water, unless you want panic and riots on your hand.
Rufus, who was one of those people exhibiting symptoms, left the room without another word. The next morning they found Kilmister dead from a gunshot wound. The man named Judd confessed immediately to Song.
Where did you get the gun?
Asked Song.
I can't tell you that, sir. Not that I was told to keep quiet, but, well, it was a favor from a friend.
When Song reported Kilmister's murder and Judd's confession, Rufus's reaction was muted.
Is that so?
He said idly, then dismissed the matter.
Song, I need your help. Sir, Shinra needs to find and secure any remaining genetic material from Genova. Yes, sir. We need to keep it out of other people's hands. That includes mad scientists.
Rufus thought about what Kilmister had told him.
Or even ghosts lurking in the live stream.
If Song was confused, he didn't show it.
Yes, sir. We're prepared for the mission immediately.
Reno and Rude were repainting the sign outside the mountain resort.
Healing Lodge? Is that what they're calling it?
Said Reno, peering at the design.
What kind of name is that? One that gets the point across. We're going to heal the world.
The partners turned with a start, caught unaware by Rufus standing behind them.
Well, we might have to knock a few heads together to do it. But this is the Shinra Electric Power Company, after all. That shouldn't surprise anyone.
There was a spark in his voice, bright and alive.
Fuck
Thank fucking
me.
hell.
Fuck
That was
me.
not very good at all.
That was fucking awful. Jesus.
Quite boring. Like,
fucking Christ.
like at the end of it, all I have to say is, okay, so I guess they're trying to do something kind of good, but they're still inherently the same. That's kind of all that really came from that. Anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
here we go.
Just a little paragraph.
Read this one.
Okay. She tried to think of some way to warn Cloud. As she pondered the problem, all the other things she couldn't tell him rose anew in her spirit, vivid as life. There was always so much she wanted to tell him, but she never had known what to say or how. She hadn't troubled herself over this for a long time, and eventually she decided there was no point in thinking about it now, either, unless she found a way to talk to him. She realized the one responsible for sowing all that hatred was trying to manifest himself in the living world. How was he going to do that? She mustered her courage and went to see for herself. He sensed her and gave chase, but then soon stopped. She could feel his mocking laughter behind her as she fled. There's nothing you can do. Still, she had seen what she needed to see, a glimpse of his intentions. He would begin by using others to act where he could not. Should she do the same? No, she thought. Even if that's possible, I don't want to appear before Cloud as someone else. I want him to see me as he knows me. And that's the setup for Advent Children? So what, Aerith manifests herself in the real world again somehow? What the heck? What are you giggling for, pal? Okay, so
Very interesting.
this leads into my... Why'd you say that in Rufus's voice?
Very interesting.
Rufus is like right beside me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. This, I think the live stream quotes are integral. Now that you've read this book, what do you think Advent Children is going to be about?
It's gotta...
Yes, it's a good question.
Okay, so it's gonna be like a mini battle between Aerith and Sephiroth coming back to the real world somehow. That sounds good though. Like it sounds unnecessary. Like, you know, like Final Fantasy VII is Final Fantasy VII. Maybe just leave it at that. But I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it if it's about, because just based on the book, like it might be good. We know where everyone's currently at. We're gonna get the gang back together to help Aerith fight Sephiroth. But somehow Aerith is gonna be like a ghostly, not real, but I don't know. Let me look at that.
I didn't really expect you to say that, to be honest.
Why?
Because, no, I don't know. I don't know.
Still, she had seen what she needed to see, a glimpse of his intentions. He would begin by using others to act where he could not. Ooh, do we think he's going to take possession of someone from the squad? We're going to have Kate Sith number 3,
Well,
but
he-
not Kate Sith.
He already said, do you remember in Livestream Black
Yeah, he brought
3,
someone back that was him,
three-
but not him.
three,
Yeah.
yeah, 3 remnants
Yeah.
of his memory.
Yeah.
That were him, but not him.
So he's just taking control of them then. Okay, scrap the whole...
He didn't take control, he created them.
Yeah, but then it
They're
said
new.
that they are like, they aren't actually him at all, and they
No.
don't actually do anything
So they're their
bad.
own
They're just
people,
normal people.
but they're also Sephiroth's
Oh
will.
wait, is that maybe what Denzel is? Let's just because how does Denzel?
Denzel? No.
Oh, damn. Okay. I thought maybe Denzel was brought to life
No,
by
Denzel
Sephiroth.
is a guy. We know his backstory.
Yeah, but maybe his backstory doesn't include the bit where he was created by Sephiroth.
No. He didn't
Okay.
create a bunch of kids. He created grown adults.
Okay. Well, in that case, oh god, I hope this doesn't turn out that one of our squad is actually created by Sephiroth or something wild.
No, this is set after the game. He did it after
Oh
the game.
yeah, okay, fair.
These,
Okay,
these
so
are
we
his
haven't
thoughts
met
in the
them
live
yet,
stream.
then.
So he's after
Yeah.
Cloud killed
Yeah,
him.
yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry. It's
And
hard.
Genova.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff floating around in my head right now.
So he's created people after on
yeah,
the way
yeah,
to
yeah.
a
After
smile.
yeah.
Before Advent Children.
Yeah.
He's created
So
these 3 people.
I think some. I mean, there's this bit there where Aerith is like, she wants him to see me as he knows me. So somehow she's gonna manifest herself, which I don't understand how she can do that, because then why can't Sephiroth also do that?
definitely has some implications, doesn't it?
I don't know what you mean. Okay, anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I think it might be kind of good. It sounds, whatever it is, it sounds unnecessary, but
What is she cooking?
I'm cooking something.
I wonder.
Well,
I certainly wonder.
Well, clearly, it's gonna be like a mini battle of Sephiroth,
What do
who's
you
the
think-
remaining Sephiroth.
So you think so, right? So Sephiroth he's trying to come back. He's
Yeah.
saying, and he's
He's
but
got
to do
these
that, he's
3
like
blokes going about.
to do that he needs Cloud, is what he keeps saying.
Yeah. Maybe
he's-
one of these blokes are gonna befriend Cloud or something, and then he's gonna have the bridge somehow.
he said what he said is in one of those live
I
stream
don't know.
blacks. He said he needs Genova's power, and he's using those 3 guys to require Genova's power. Of Genova can shapeshift and stuff, and it uses the live stream and what have you. So Sephiroth thinks if he can get hold of Genova,
Like
then,
a piece of her.
yeah, then he'll be able to imprint himself, and he'll be able to take form then.
In
And
the
he
real
wants-
world.
Yeah, and he wants Cloud's, he needs Cloud's memories of him to be able to do that, I believe is what he's saying.
That's
'Cause,
madness.
Yeah, I think is what's...
So maybe someone is gonna try and lead Cloud to somewhere maybe to somewhere that's really strong with the life force, and then he'll be able to
the life force.
the life stream.
The fuck is the life force?
And then he'll be able to mooch off of Cloud if he's near enough or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
What do you
I
think
think
about
lots
the
of things
idea
can
of
happen.
what do you think about the idea of Sephiroth trying to come back? Do you think he should come back? Do you think they should have Sephiroth come back, or do you
Oh.
think he shouldn't come back?
I mean, I'm quite happy with 7 just being 7. I don't think that we needed more. I guess it's in.
So no. But what do you think? Because obviously you're saying you think Sephiroth. Yeah. So Sephiroth's plan, he's trying to come back. He's
Well,
trying
what
to bring himself back.
I don't understand if that is a long-term thing, because for a second there I was just thinking that Advent Children would be a one and done, but maybe if that really does bring back Sephiroth, it's a bit I think I can understand it though, because I mean Sephiroth is incredibly powerful, and if they're saying Aerith is strong enough to be floating about, then I guess it makes sense that so is Sephiroth, and I guess it makes sense that him being as powerful as he is, that he would manage it. So I don't hate it, but I kind of just, I think 7 is 7. Can we not just have 7? Why can't we just have 7? They're unironically hurting my brain. This is so funny. Why am I saying things that are so crazy? I'm just going with what I have here. I mean, I am leaping a little bit, but I don't really know because I really didn't. I forgot for a while that this book did lead into Advent Children. And I kind of just for a while was thinking of it as just like a nice little like, what's everyone up to a few years later?
Yeah, it says about a lot of things. Most of it, I mean, the Shimmer chapter is very on the nose with everything it's setting up, but the rest of the chapters set up things too. They just don't like explicitly tell you that they're setting them up because, like, when you watch Advent Children, you're like, oh yeah, I understand what's going on because because the book has set it up. Like, you've got like Cloud's got his delivery service.
Yeah.
He's got his bike.
Strife.
You know who Denzel is.
Yeah.
You know what Barrett's up to. Like, you know why. You know. Sid's working on his new airship.
Yeah.
Like using. You know,
Yuffie is doing bits and bobs.
Yeah, you know what the geostigma is. You know
And
why it's happening.
yeah.
What's causing it. Where it comes from. Its connection to Genova and Sephiroth. So.
Can 7 not be 7? Very good question. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think the compilation is maybe a bit unnecessary.
It's
I like
completely
this
unnecessary.
book. I liked the first like 2/3, I guess, roughly is what it is of this book.
Yeah, because most of the book isn't like.
It's just an extension of like
It's not-
here's a little bit more.
It's not a story.
Yeah, it's more
like-
just an update on characters.
It's not like
yeah.
trying to do a plot.
Yeah.
It's just telling you what the characters.
Yeah,
are
and
up
it
to,
doesn't
it's
change
meaningful.
anything about the main game. It just enhances bits, I
It's
guess
just-
you
it's
could
just
say.
it's just a really nice epilogue.
Yeah, exactly.
But what the live stream Black and White does, and the Shimmer
It does
chapter
seem to be
does,
starting
is
a new
it
thing.
sets up a plot.
Yeah.
And like, then
I
it's
just
like,
don't
okay,
think I
so
need
now
that.
we need a climax and a resolution to that
And
plot,
I-
and we've got to go through the
Oh,
whole
no.
story arc of like
What's-
telling a story.
What's
again.
tough as well is like if they're bringing Sephiroth back, I feel like the only way that they can make it make sense is if we like bat him down before he gets back fully. Because if he gets back, it's kind of like how can we level up what you did? You literally had him throw the entire solar system at you at the end of 7. Like
Yeah,
you
but
cannot.
I think more so, like even on a character level, like having Sephiroth come back undercuts the end of 7
Yeah, it does.
at all. Even if he's back for a second, like
Yeah, it does.
It undercuts
It
7 in that, like, not only do you defeat Sephiroth at the end of the game, you defeat Genova, you defeat Sephiroth. Cloud banishes him from his mind and like wins over the Sephiroth that is inside of him. Like, having him come back at all undercuts that story beat.
Yeah, I think it's a bit not necessary. And it might still be a bit of fun to watch anyway, but I'm now wondering like, oh, okay, is this what all the other games are now about? And it's just like,
And like, I also think like the fact that Sephiroth even exists in the live stream, and the fact that Aerith
Yeah.
exists in the live stream,
yeah, it
is
is
like
a bit.
there's a point they make a point in Final Fantasy VII of being like, we have to let the memories of Aerith go so that she can return to the planet, and so that we can win. If we keep carrying Aerith with us, we're not allowing her to rest in peace. And then this is just going, oh, she's just having a good time in the live stream, like a Force ghost, and it's like that's not how it works. Right? Like, people are kept alive by their memories, and by letting those memories go, you allow Aerith to rest. And, like, that's a good thing. Like, it's letting go of the trauma so that you can move forward. And, like,
Yeah.
that's what a lot of On the Way to a Smile even does as well. It plays with that theme. But then the end of it just goes, nah, fuck all of that. None of it matters. Like,
Aerith is coming back, so
we
is
get,
Sephiroth. Lol,
like
let's
Aerith
go.
is just alive in the live stream for some reason, and so is Sephiroth. And like
Yeah,
they're gonna
no,
have
I
an epic
don't-
cosmic battle
yeah.
like fucking Yoda and Palpatine or something.
I don't love that. I'm gonna try and enjoy Advent Children for what it is, but I'm sure at the end I'll be like, yeah, I mean, I could have done without that though.
The best part of all of this is that Advent Children is like what it's doing is nowhere near as bad as what Remake is doing.
What you don't, James, what you don't understand is that it's a reunion of memories.
Oh, it's a reunion of memories, a mimetic legacy. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Mum, I'm having the worst day of my life right now. Can you message me on WhatsApp, please?
What?
I go scam text.
Oh, reply to it.
No, I don't wanna risk that it's
Reunion of
do
memories. We should have a. Do you know what we should do? We should do a stream when she's finished with the whole compilation and remake, where she watches that video and reacts to it and see what she
Why?
thinks. Because your brain's gonna break. It doesn't
Oh,
make.
good.
It makes sense at the
Is
same
that-
time.
wait, that's a
doesn't make any
video?
fucking sense. This fucking guy, like analyzes all of like all these little intricacies and stuff, and like
he like predicts what remake is really about,
Oh.
and it's fucking mental. It's fucking mental. And I listened to the whole thing, and like 50% of it, I have no clue what the fuck he's talking about. Like, it's fucking mental. And then the other half, I was like, oh yeah, this all makes perfect sense. Like, I get it. This makes sense. This leads into this. Like, yeah, this makes perfect sense. It's dumb as shit, but it makes perfect sense. But the first half
I forgot
of the video,
to tweet the stream
I
out.
was like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Oh well.
It was fucking crazy. But yeah, you should do a stream where you react to that, or just
Okay.
listen to it and watch it on stream
All right. Yeah, I can do.
after. You're done.
There's
It's
lots
like-
of bits
it's,
to
it's
do.
like an hour and a half.
That's great. All right.
After you're done with remake again, that'll be good.
All right. I'm fucking exhausted. That took it out of me. Oh wait,
See,
that
it's
was
funny
really
you say that,
loud.
but you're definitely not going to go to bed for another 3 hours. So like,
Yeah, no, but I'm tired from reading. I want to relax now and have my brain relax. So yeah, I need to get a snack.
James,
gonna go
you'd be
relax.
here if the kids are alright. I mean, I guess I could do the voices again.
Yeah, yeah.
The
that'd be
kids
fine.
are alright, but we'll do that. You can do that after Crisis Core, after Dirge, after Crisis Core, after Advent Children, before remake.
Okay. So what have I got left to play? I've got I'm gonna
So,
watch Advent Children,
Yeah, Advent Children, then play Dirge,
play Dirge of Cerberus,
then play Crisis Core,
play Crisis Core.
then read The Kids Are Alright, then play remake again.
Oh, is it all? Okay, it's not too bad. His Dirge is pretty short, even though I might take a bit longer.
It took me 12 hours.
How short is Crisis Core?
About the same.
Oh, okay. Okay, not too
Between 8 and 12 hours, it depends. First playthrough, probably like 12 hours.
bad. Yeah, okay.
Well, for you, probably like 20, but yeah.
But yeah, nothing too crazy. And then Advent Children's on like an hour long, isn't it? So I'll just have to find
Yeah,
some
just
time to
over
watch
an
that
hour, I think.
anytime
An
now.
hour and a half.
I think I'll upload my 7 videos first, so I won't do the Advent Children thing until I've uploaded my 7 videos.
At least you don't have to play the original Crisis Core, because that would have been a bitch to play through for you.
What am I
It's-
playing
it's
then?
Old and clunky. Reunion.
Oh, am I?
Yes. We talked about this before. There's no reason to play the original. There's absolute no reason. It's the same. It's exactly the same. What?
I want to play the original.
Why?
Oh no!
It's
I just-
exactly the same. Reunion's just more fun to play.
Okay.
It's not like remake is to the OG. It's like
Yeah, I know what
the
you're
Halo
saying.
remasters. It's just a
Yeah.
remaster. It just looks prettier.
Okay.
There's no reason to play the original.
Okay.
It just looks uglier and has shit voice acting.
Okay.
To be fair, the new one has shit voice acting too.
Okay.
They don't even redo the cutscenes. Exactly, they just paint over it, like with better, like. Oh man, no, it doesn't. It does. The Reunion has shit voice acting too. It's a bit better. Still shit though. Hi, I'm fucking Zack. Well, the Reunion voice acting is good. Fuck no, it's not fucking good. It's still shit. The voice actors are better, but the voice direction still sucks. Like they sound like all of the remake voice actors sound considerably worse in Reunion than they do in remake. Like in remake they sound good and natural,
But
and,
also,
like, really good.
when
in
I
Reunion
make-
they just kind of suck.
When I make it a video, it's going to be confusing because no one's going to know I haven't played Crisis Core.
Yeah, they will. You say at the beginning, I haven't played Crisis Core.
Yeah, but no one's going to click on it thinking that.
You literally call the video, I played Crisis Core for the first time. Like, Reunion just replaces Crisis Core.
Right. Okay.
It's like if someone made a video like, oh, I played AC2 for the first time and I played the Ezio Collection version. Like, it's the same game, it just looks better.
I'm not looking forward to making any of the other ones into videos because I know they're going to be not as positive.
Yeah, I mean, Dirt...
And I don't mean like I have an issue with that in terms of like people are going to be mad at me. I just don't think it makes for as good content when you don't like something.
Oh, it does.
I don't think so.
My Crisis
Because
Core video is my best video.
I also don't think that I don't think that I'm going to be able to like hate on it big time throughout my playthrough. I think I'm gonna have to wait until I'm done. And so the whole playthrough bit is gonna be like a bit of me just being like, oh that's good. Oh, okay. Like it's just gonna be. Ugh. The original scenes for the actors before they would record the lines.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
They should have just
You're
given
going to
them
love
direction.
Crisis Core? I don't know, man. I know maybe you're joking, but at the same time, I know I don't think that I'm gonna like it.
I can't imagine you liking it because you don't like. There's parts of 14 that I vibe with and you just don't like because you're just bored.
I can't imagine
True.
you not being bored playing Crisis Core.
Really?
Because it's not fun.
I found Laz through his Crisis Core hate. Lol. That's amazing.
Hey.
Hard to find like-minded people like that into Final Fantasy VII.
True.
Yeah, I do think that both of our impression of Crisis Core was that it was going to be really good.
Yeah, I
Because
thought
we
it was gonna be
both
great.
have seen, you know, lots of people in the space who make content like we do, and they have all put, like, really, seem to have, like, really enjoyed it and, like, cried to it and stuff. And so then to find out that it's not good is kind of frightening. But,
Yeah.
you know, at least there are people out there who feel the same.
So like Zack. Maybe. I mean, I like.
I think I'll like Zack.
I liked Zack for like the first half of the game until I realized they were gaslighting me, and then I realized, oh shit, no wait, do I like Zack? No, of course. Why do I like Zack? There's no reason to like Zack.
Yeah, I mean, I love the original 7 so much that if Crisis Core is gonna fuck around with that story,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be upset.
You'll hate those bits.
yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
gonna be upset.
Honestly, I'm expecting a moment where you go, wait, did this happen in the OG or not? I don't remember, guys. Did this happen? And it's the bit.
Do you know that I wouldn't be that surprised because I am a bit silly in that sense, but I mean, I think the game is pretty clear in my head. Not only is it clear in my head, but I'm also replaying it basically by editing my video. So I think I'm pretty clear. But you know, I'm not flawless like that. So I wouldn't
No.
be shocked if I did react that way.
I don't like Zack. I'm saying that for the first half of the game I did. Like, I was like, yeah, I like Zack. And then, like, I realised, I'm like, wait, do I?
But then they're saying they think I will actually just through and through be like, oh, I don't like the story, but I like Zack.
But the thing is, I'm not going to be able to not explain to you why you're wrong. And then you're going to agree with me. Because that's just
True.
how it goes every single time.
True.
So for your first playthrough, yeah, maybe you will. Maybe you will like Zack, maybe you'll even like the story, maybe you'll think the ending's great, like, and stuff, but then I'm just gonna explain to you why you're wrong,
Yeah.
and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I agree with you.
I can just have a positive video and then I can pin a comment and say, hey guys, I actually hate this now. I really liked Zack in the context of the OG. I think they fell horribly flat with the writing for him in Crisis Core, and then after that they overused the hell out of him going forward.
They did. Like, they use him on every time they're advertising 7, they use Zack. Like, Zack was in the game for 5
That
minutes!
is really odd.
Why is he next to Cloud and Sephiroth? What the fuck are you doing? He was a side character, he had like 2 lines of dialogue! He's not anybody! He's not real! He doesn't matter! That's the point! That's the point of his character! The point is that he doesn't matter! The fucking soldier hero that you think is important isn't important! That's the point of his character! Oh my god.
It is pretty baffling that
Oh god.
it is pretty baffling that they turned him into such a big part.
It's crazy.
Like Flash said, like, to be honest, I love 7 a lot. So if they're gonna change things in 7, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah,
I think 7 is like through and through like a near perfect game. Like, I just think it's so good.
But I think you'll dislike the retcons, but the things that I thought were like really shit, I don't think you'll think are really shit. I think you'll just be bored. Because, see, the thing is, the reason why I react the way I do is because I'm fucking autistic. And so, like, I'm psychoanalyzing the narrative
You probably
as it's
are,
going.
to be fair.
You're not
yeah.
going to do that, but you're going to have the, like,
Yeah.
correct reaction of, wow, this is boring.
Yeah, no, you do. I wouldn't. Yeah, that is just who you are as a person. Is that everything you watch? Like, we're watching a TV show or movie, and I can just see the cogs turning if I look at him. Like, and I to an extent do that sometimes too. But that's probably because you've rubbed off on me so much. But like, you know, and to an extent, like, you know, when I watch or play something, I'm analyzing it a little bit. But you are actually analyzing it, like you're about to make a video on it. So I definitely am more like a normal person when I play.
Cool guy.
When I play the game, I tend to kind of, you know, I will take it for what it is and then maybe think about it some more afterwards and maybe discuss it with you, and then things will become clearer. So it'll be interesting, the latest effect.
Yeah.
Ever playing Remake will be so fucking funny. Why? Oh, because you'll... Okay.
Yeah.
See, Flash, when
I
you
think-
say things will be funny involving me, I imagine it's because you're laughing at me. But in this context, they'll laugh with me.
I
so
think,
it's okay.
yeah, for me, when I'm playing something, I'm like, oh, this is boring because X, Y, Z, and now I
Yeah,
hate
and
it
I'm
for
like,
that.
I am just...
Whereas
this
you'll
is
just be
boring.
like, this is boring.
And then afterwards, I'll be like, maybe why was that boring? And we'll discuss
Yeah,
it, and then I'll get why.
But I do
Yeah,
think
that's more me.
I cannot imagine you won't find Crisis Core boring. Like
Yeah,
it's boring.
okay.
Like, it's
Oh.
really fucking boring.
Well, it's okay. I'm gonna go into it with a positive mindset.
I mean, you're going in with the lowest expectations possible.
I really
if
am.
you still don't like it, the game is fucking bad.
Yeah, my expectations went from here to
Like, this is unprecedented.
So-
I went in expecting it was a great game. You're going in expecting one of the worst things ever
Yeah.
made. So, like, if you still don't like it, if you still can't find any
Yeah.
redeeming qualities, it's gonna be fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shit game.
I'm gonna do my best though not to go in with a negative mindset. I'll go in trying to like it. And if the game says no, then I will have to say okay. James going into games expecting they're good and then slowly realizing they're bad is so funny.
It happens too much. It happens too often. I hate it.
I love that. So good. Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah.
Crisis Core and A.
So I'm doing my best. The good thing is on my videos, the first one is a billion times longer to edit because I did disc 2 and 3 in like 10 or 12 hours, whereas I did disc 1 in 35. So
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's how long it took me to beat the whole game.
yeah. So my first my disc 1 video is it's probably halfway done. I know that sounds pathetic because I've been on it for weeks, but it is genuinely taking me forever. It also means a lot to me and I love it a lot, so I can't help not wanting I cannot half-ass it. But my part 2 one will follow up probably only a week later because it's a fraction of the work. So that's good. And then as soon as that's up a few days later, I'll do the Advent Children one. For sure. Diff.
Shit. I fucked that up.
I really
Thanks,
love
Flash.
Remake. I'm scared what they'll do with Zack going forwards. Oh yeah, because what's really funny is I forgot that Zack was in Remake also. There's a bit in my video where I say, oh, Zack wasn't in Remake though. There was a soldier or something, and then like directly paired with that, I've shown me because I literally streamed a replay of Remake, and I paired the bit where I'm watching the Zack scene. And it's quite funny.
And you literally say, like, oh, I know him, that's Zack Fair. You know his fucking surname, too.
Yeah.
And then you just forgot he was in the game.
Listen!
It's insane. Your
the brain
remake
broke.
replay is going to be fucking
Yeah.
so scuffed. You're going to forget so much.
No, because I think the full games has stuck with me a lot more than Remake ever would have. And I think
Do you remember the Midgar section, though?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I
Which
literally
floor do you get the megaphone on?
60. It'll be either 67, 8, or 9. I think.
I thought it was 64.
I don't think you go. Wait, don't you start at 66?
I might be wrong.
Come on, that is such a bullshit detail anyway. But I got the megaphone. I remember that.
I don't even remember it.
I remember that you prime yourself for the megaphone in the first 8 hours. My first 8 hours, and then when you come back, you have to get it at the end.
To be fair, the only thing she really needs to remember about the Midgar section is that Whispers won in the original. True.
Yeah.
But there are certain things you want to.
I think there are details also in this little noggin. I can't promise, but I think because I love the game
And-
so much,
and
and
no
I've
Sephiroth.
absorbed,
Yeah.
I've absorbed this content.
And no Sephiroth. Sephiroth was not in the Midgar section at all. The first time you see Sephiroth
Yeah.
is in the Calm flashback.
Yeah,
to
and then
Nibelheim.
the first time you actually see him for real, like in person,
is on the boat from Costa del
yes,
Sol.
yeah, because he's running away and then he
from
leaves
Junon
behind.
to Costa del
Yeah,
Sol.
and then he leaves behind a little Genova
Well,
sprig.
it is Genova.
But it's a bit of Genova though, isn't it?
No, but that's what Sephiroth. That was Genova. Like,
But
it's
there's
not really
different
Sephiroth,
iterations
'cause you
of Genova.
Yeah, but you realise that Sephiroth you see on the boat, that was just Genova transforming into Sephiroth.
Oh.
Because Sephiroth isn't in the game at all.
Right.
It's just the only version of Sephiroth that's real is the one in the crater.
Right.
Every
yeah,
other
of
one
course.
is just Genova
Oh,
turning
of course.
into Sephiroth.
Yeah. I think that would. Yeah. That's one of those things where they do a reveal at the end, but I don't go back in my brain and replay the entire game retroactively and realize. So yeah, that's one of those that hadn't really clicked. Yeah. Of course it isn't. Yeah. Of course it
Because
isn't.
they're all just, it's either Genova or it's
That's mad.
soldiers or it's the test subjects that have been failed clones of Sephiroth that have the different tattoos on them.
But they don't look like Sephiroth.
No, but they can.
They can.
If Genova decides to possess like that particular person, because Genova is using different, like you see a bunch of different Sephiroths across the game. They're all different clones that have just turned into
right.
Sephiroth and stuff.
Right, yeah. That makes sense.
But it's basically Genova has control over all of the different clones at the same time. That's why Cloud keeps going like having all of his fucking seizures, because Genova inside him is trying to control them. Because he's a Sephiroth clone too.
Oh yeah, join the Discord if you want me to, Morning. We'll be happy to have you.
Elvis is his own.
Very glad that you're of
She's
the
like,
same
you know
sort
what?
of
You're right. I
mindset.
don't remember 7.
I'm gonna try and pay more close attention to that stuff in my editing, since I'm really not super far of the way through. Sadly.
There's a lot of little moments that I'll remake. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I do remember. Well, I think I'll remember the major changes they make, such as like Wedge doesn't die when he falls. He dies when he comes back in the elevator or something.
Yeah, and then he falls.
And also the bit where Barrett dies but then doesn't.
Barrett does die and then doesn't.
And also Biggs being awake at the end. Obviously, he's just dead.
Barrett dies, and then the Whispers bring him back, and then Aerith says, "We should kill the Whispers," and Barrett goes, yes. Yeah, Barrett, yeah, sure. Well, yeah, why not? Why not? You're not going to think about that twice? They just saved your life. No? You were going to kill... Okay, that's fine. Go for it,
It's
Barrett.
really confusing, actually, why they have... I don't really understand it. But yeah, I think the original is clear enough that I'll be able to grasp everything. But yeah, I don't know. I inherently am not very good with memory, so it's just who I am. So that's why I sometimes lose out on details.
No one dies ever. That's a very important detail of Remake.
True.
And if you think someone's dead, they're not.
He said after Biggs... James nearly killed himself when he first saw Barrett's death. He said after Biggs dies, if Barrett dies, I'm gonna lose it.
Literally nobody died in Remake, did they? Nobody dies.
Wait, yeah, because...
Nobody at all.
Wait, it's gonna be
dies.
confusing though, because it's gonna be like... I don't remember what happens to Rufus. Oh, he's alive. He's alive because he doesn't die until the end anyway.
Die till, just end of disc 2.
So... So, yeah, never mind that bit then. But I was gonna say, like, whatever they do end up doing with Rufus, it will be confusing because either they're going off of the book, which I guess they will be, or
100% will be.
So they're always gonna diverge from the original?
They've done the most tiny little references to the fucking compilation. Like, they're doing the compilation.
Meow.
Like, Nero and Vice are the main villains of Intermission.
Who even are they? I don't actually
You'll
really
find
understand.
out soon.
Ah, okay, interesting. Alright, on that note, I need to go chill out for a bit before I go to sleep.
Bye, everyone.
But thank you all so much for joining. I hope you've all had fun. The book was mostly good. The book was mostly really good.
It was 80% good. Sadly,
no, I'd
20%
say
of it is
60%.
one chapter.
No, I think that one chapter is literally like, I would say
60
30%.
pages. It's 60 pages of a 200-page book. So.
Yeah, that's like 30%, dude. That's mad.
Yeah, you're right.
That's mad.
Go watch Doctor Who. What? Why?
No. We're gonna go
Oh.
play The Last of Us Part 2.
I do. No, we're not.
Why?
I want to. 80 pages? It's not 80. It goes from 127 to 182. So it's
Yeah, it's 60.
just under 60 pages. So 55 pages, something like that.
We're not playing Last of Us Part 2. I'm so sad. Okay. Alright, everyone. Take care, all. There's Sora. Have a good evening.
Would you say the good to bad ratio? What would you say the good to bad ratio of the kids who are alright is? 70-30.
Oh, about the same.
Yeah, about the same. But the bad stuff is funny.
I really am trying hard to have my video out, but it will not be out super soon because I'm going away this weekend as well. So
Idiot.
yeah, it's a bit of a bitch, but hopefully not. Yeah, anyway, I'll do my best. Okay, take care, everybody. I hope you all have a great
See
evening.
you later, guys.
Final Fantasy 14 Friday tomorrow. We thought of it at the same time. Okay, bye, everyone. See you then. Bye.
Bye.